Let's see if this baby is working. Within Wirecast for YouTube, click the Connect to YouTube button near the top. In your encoder, send us your little video stream. Okay, it says we're doing that. Oh man. copy this code, switch to your application, paste it there. Where am I pasting this? see if this is working. Why is it not showing up there? Says I'm live. Says I'm live. I'm trying to figure this baby out. Ah, okay. Alright, alright. I think I figured out what it is. Think we figured it out. Boom. Alright, so it says it's streaming, and I think I got the link to the video, so I'm pretty sure it's up. I just connected it. I just literally sent out the link to the wrong video. Let me just tweet this puppy out. Alright, hashtag AskGSM episode 200 is now live at this link. Send in your questions in the chat box. I doubt we're going to have many people, but it is what it is. Oh, Jason Davis. He's calling me. What's up, sir? Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to stream this thing. I think it's live right now, so I'll put you on the air in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna try to set it up while I'm talking to you. So you're gonna go live to the people in a minute. I think it's recording. I'm pretty sure it's recording. I'm pretty sure it's live streaming on YouTube. Yeah. You're not on it yet. I don't have you on speaker yet. No. Yeah, you could say whatever. Yeah, you're good. I don't think you can come across. Wait, 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, no, I called you like 2 last night. I know. I'm sorry. I was super fucking busy. What? Yeah, I know. Click. Delete. I know. I'll talk more about it in detail later. About everything. 1 second. Send in your questions in the chat room here. Yeah, I know. It was the only time that I had free. I'm pretty sure this is it. Yeah, baby. Okay, so shout out to Rusty Rage regularly and Emmanuel. They're on the live stream. Okay, I got this shit. I've been plugging this 200th episode for like a week or two now, but I sent people the wrong stream. So it was on the wrong stream for like 20 minutes almost, and I said I'd start at 12. I'm such a liar. All right. What? Oh, you had your doctor's appointment yesterday? You said you were at the doctor's on Monday. Oh, maybe I thought leg and I thought doctor. Okay, I thought it was the doctor's appointment. My bad. Okay, let me ask these guys how the audio is, because once they say it's good, then I'm gonna go. I think it's recording. I really hope it's recording. I'm not doing this for nothing. Yeah, I know. They're pretty much watching me talking to you on the phone, because this is all gonna be on YouTube. I don't know if I can edit this out. It is. It is. No, not yet. No, I don't have you on speaker yet. I'm gonna put you on speaker. Not yet. Wait, give me 2 seconds. Oh, shit. I'm such a liar. I told RJ I'd call him before I'd call you, but oh well. And no, don't give out any of that information. No. No, that's fine. I'm gonna call you first. You're already on the phone, so I'm gonna have you answer a couple questions. Oh, shit. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna put you on. This is the most unconventional start to a 200th episode of all time, and I'm pretty sure this is all making the air right now, so give me 2 seconds. Get the questions up. Okay, 1 second. Wait, I think you're on. Give me 2 seconds. Say something, Jason.
Something, Jason.
Okay, let me just ask these guys if they can hear you okay. Can you guys hear Jason all right? Yes, I can hear him. That's what Rusty Rage regularly said. Awesome. Yes, and it is so unprofessional, by the way. There's like a 5-second delay, so... All right.
Good.
Let's get this started here. Okay, so this is hashtag AskGSM. I've been live for like 20 minutes now, but oh well. So this is, let's see. Got the questions. This is episode 200 of hashtag AskGSM.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. You've been on the show like how many times? Like 5, 6 times?
60.
16. You've been on a whole bunch of times. So I will say this much, that I think the last face-to-face video that I've done for hashtag was with you, if not John, like in December when I was wearing my Christmas hat. So although you're not here with me right now, no, actually we did hashtag a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
Noah was the last one. Noah was the last one.
No. Noah was on, but he wasn't face-to-face like we were. But I think you were on the show with me back in like July, though. I'm such a liar. God damn it. I'm all over the place today, so I apologize, guys. But, yeah, Jason's going to be my first guest. RJ, he just texted me asking for an update because I told him I'd call him from 12 to 12:15 Eastern Time. It's already 12:20. I'm such a fucking idiot.
Number one.
So you're number one. You're the first guest. You're the premier guest in episode 200. Before we get started, I just want to say thanks to everyone who made this possible. I started the show 4.5 years ago. I'll talk more about that later because a bunch of you guys asked questions about it. But yeah, this is episode 200. I thought we would do something big. I wanted to combine my two ideas of doing something live and also having guests on. So we're going to have both. We're having Jason on the phone right now, and we're going live. Again, like I said, pretty fucking unprofessional. I'm going to try to... I have my Twitter up. I have the questions up. I have the stream up. So I see you guys on the live stream, which is cool. So if you want to send in questions there, I'll try to check it regularly. Get it, Rusty Rage regularly. Yeah, up on there. That was not bad. But anyway, let's get Jason on the phone. He's already on the phone here. He's busy. He's busy as shit. So I'll ask him a couple questions. We might as well start with Rusty's questions. He sent in a few from Twitter at Rusty Yankee Fan. And I figured this one would be a good one for you, Jason, considering how much you liked him as well. Or I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you did anyway. So his question was, do you think Chris Benoit will ever get into the Hall of Fame, say 50 years from now when we are all old and gray? Jason, what are your 2 cents?
I think, I don't know. I mean, I'd say I know China's going to go in, but
yeah, China's going in.
I don't think Benoit will ever be in the Hall of Fame, which is, because you can't. I mean, generations are going to look up this guy and watch him on the network, and then go back and like, whatever happened to him, and then see what he did, and they're like, Jesus, So I honestly don't think so, which is sad because he was one of the best. He was up there with best technical wrestlers. Up there with Brett and Owen and stuff like that. Jesus. Sorry.
What is that?
Helicopter. I was, no. I don't know. It's something. So I personally don't. I would think and hope that after Vince McMahon is dead and, the business is changed, maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. I mean, the guy's a murderer.
Because his goofy, son-in-law and his idiotic family and daughter, and they're going to run the business, so.
Is that you, CM Punk?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Mr. Pipe Bomb over here. But, no, I don't know who's in charge, whether it be Triple H, especially in a Triple H. Triple H, yeah. Vince, they could put freaking Yoshitatsu in the as the chairman of the WWE, and I still don't think Chris Benoit would get in. You could put Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit's best friend, one of his best friends, as the chairman of the company. I still don't think you'd put him in, just because, yes, he was a great...
Let's say Lance Storm has a better chance of being in the Hall of Fame than Benoit does.
Oh, I mean, freaking Eugene has a better chance of being in the Hall of Fame than Benoit does, I would say.
That's awful.
China's different just because the whole thing they said a couple years ago with Triple H and the on the podcast, like, oh, she did porn, she's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's like, that's such a stupid reason. She has since died. They feel bad about it. Obviously, they weren't going to put her in the next year after she passed away. I mean, look no further than Macho Man Randy Savage. I think she'll be in eventually. But she didn't kill anyone, though. Not that we know of. But Chris Benoit killed himself and his family. So, I mean...
Allegedly.
What'd you say?
As Hornswoggle would say, allegedly.
Allegedly, exactly. Allegedly.
No, he did.
He definitely did. Kevin Sullivan did not do it.
No.
I don't think he's going to the Hall of Fame. Sorry, guys. I don't think. I mean, he's a murderer. I mean, I wouldn't even put him in the Hall of Fame. Not only do I not think he's not going to go in, I also think that he should not go in. I mean, for the wrestling career, sure, but you can't just say, oh, he was a great wrestler, but yeah, he was a shitty person, but let's put him in the Hall of Fame anyway. You can't do that.
But if you look strictly, I go back and forth. Like, I understand why they wouldn't. But my thing is, it's kind of like people that say, oh, I hate Mel Gibson because of his personal beliefs and him being racist and stuff like that. And it's like, that doesn't keep me from watching his movies because I think he's a great filmmaker and I like him as an actor. But yeah, personally, I think he's a POS. But yeah, so I mean, I go back and forth. Like, yeah, it's terrible what he did. I don't think it's acceptable at all. But I mean, he did so much in the ring, but it still doesn't outshine. It's just sad. He'll always be remembered for that compared to his wrestling career.
Always, yeah, that's never going to be forgotten. I mean, we'll always think, oh man, that awesome WrestleMania main event that he had with Triple H and Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 20, blah blah blah. But, I mean, you're always at the end of the day going to think, well, but he kind of killed his family. So, I mean, that's never going to be forgotten. So I just don't think he's going in. You can't excuse the actions that took place in the final few days of his life. I mean, they also take into consideration the stuff that you did for the business. And he did a lot for the business, but he also did a lot of bad stuff for the business too when that whole thing went down. I mean, the business took a turn for the worse for at least a few months. And you can argue that it still hasn't recovered. And that was over 10 years ago at this point. But, anyway, so we'll ask you one more question before I got to let you go. I know you're busy and whatnot. Mr. Dave is working all day today, and I'll talk to you on the phone again later. But I will ask you this question. I mean, you saw No Mercy and you saw Raw, and we haven't talked about it yet, so I'm kind of interested to get your thoughts on this, and have you had the same reaction that I did? So, Rusty, he had another question here that's not really relevant that you might not be able to answer. I'll talk about that myself in a second. His next question that you might be able to answer is the Cruiserweight division on its last legs, and that obviously is in reference to Enzo Amore becoming the new Cruiserweight champion in No Mercy on Sunday. What do you think about the Cruiserweight division, Jason? I know you haven't watched 205 Live since like 2002, but so do you think?
I mean, it's been dead in the water just because it's the same thing like what they did with the UK tournament. Like, it just wasn't like the tournament. The Cruiserweight Classic was great, but then but they just structured it into, instead of it just being wrestling and with them putting it on after SmackDown or Raw. SmackDown, right?
Yeah, it's after SmackDown, yeah.
It's just, I mean, I love most of those wrestlers and the Cruiserweights, and it's on its last leg. I mean, and they're finally turning Enzo heel and using his annoying persona, his real life persona, which is fine, but it's just, it's I don't know. I don't really care if it goes away or not. I just would love to see like Neville and Brian Kendrick, on the main roster. Maybe they could just divide. I don't know. It's been on its last leg because it's just been going downhill. I mean, it's their fault. They don't put it on before any of the main shows, and they just try to put in the stupid storylines that nobody cares about, like Alicia Fox crap and et cetera. So if they just kept it straight wrestling and put it before when the main show started, then people would have the energy. But they just pretty much what they did with ECW. They just pretty much killing their own thing. So.
They really are. I mean, it wasn't theirs to begin with, so they like to hammer it home that we didn't create this, so we're going to make it as shitty as possible. So, like you said, look no further than ECW. We didn't create this, so let's make your lasting image of ECW terrible. Like, maybe not me, but younger fans that maybe started watching around ECW when it came back in like 06 or whatever it was, they're going to think, oh, ECW, that shit was awful, but it's like you didn't see the original. Like, you have no idea what it's all about. The Cruiserweights will be no different. It's like, oh, the Cruiserweights, like, who cares? But you weren't around in WCW when they were killing it every single week. But I mean, like
great
you said,
wrestling matches that were fillers. I mean, they had really small storyline, but barely, and that's what made it so different. It was just strictly wrestling, which is why the Classic did so well. Now they're putting it on TV all the time, and they don't know what to do because they think they have to have these giant, stupid storylines and blah blah blah. Just treat it like a tournament each week, and people will still watch it. But nope.
Exactly. They had great matches in the Cruiserweight Classic, which you did watch. We were talking about it every single time I saw you, like, holy shit, did you see that match? It was fucking awesome. And now they don't have that on TV anymore. Now it's just like a 2-minute filler match. Who cares? And so Enzo Amore winning the championship, that bottom line, does it move the needle for you? Does it make you want to watch 205 Live? Yes or no?
No.
That's the answer. That's it. If it doesn't make you want to watch the show, then it's a failure. That's all I got to say. And I hope Neville moves up. It's so funny, too, that Austin Aries got 3 shots. I tweeted this out and it went viral, but Austin Aries got 3 shots at the title. He lost every single time, yet Enzo beat Neville on his first shot. How sad is that?
Yeah.
That's why he quit. I mean, really, in a nutshell, that's why the guy quit. Last question for you before I let you go. This is kind of relevant, which is why I wanted to ask you real quick. Do you think Neville should move to SmackDown and feud with AJ Styles over the United States Championship? That was from Jeremy from Facebook. Do you think Neville should go to SmackDown and feud with Styles?
Yes. Absolutely.
That would be fucking great. I think the matches would be awesome.
On Raw, they would just put him with Finn Balor, and then he'd have nobody to really go against.
You could put him with Bray Wyatt.
And we all know how that'll end.
The guy's he's a loser. He's a fucking loser. That's how we know it's going to end. Oh, God. Did you like No Mercy? Do you think it was all right? What were your final thoughts before I let you go?
My issues are real quick is that Braun Strowman destroyed everybody.
Yep.
Yet they had him lose to Lesnar, which made no sense to me, because now it looks like everything he did was pointless, and then having Reigns go over Cena was not a passing of the torch. And the difference is, you can't. They're taking what they did with Cena over a 15-year span and trying to make it over an almost 3-year span with Roman Reigns. And no matter what they do, it's not going to work. Give it 15 years. They're going to have to do 30 years with Roman Reigns. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, even though I hated Cena with him, the fact that he can't ever wrestle and all that stuff, and blah blah blah. But he didn't. He wasn't pushed this quick. Like, it's so fast. They're trying to say, oh yeah, he took care of Undertaker. He did, he lost to Lesnar and Strowman, but he's going to beat Cena, which just made no sense. And it wasn't a passing of the torch. So, I mean, I like the show overall. I didn't like the outcome of the Strowman match and Cena and Reigns.
I agree. I liked the match. I liked Reigns and Cena, but it wasn't really a passing of the torch. In their mind, it was. Like Rock and Cena, when they did that a couple years ago, WrestleMania, it was the passing of the torch. It's like Cena's been on top for like the last 10 years. Like, how is that a passing of the torch? It doesn't make any sense. But like you said, they keep on trying with Roman Reigns. They put him over Brock. They put him over Triple H, over The Undertaker, over John Cena. If it takes all 4 of those people to put over Roman Reigns and he's still not the mega babyface you want him to be, then it's not working. It's not working, Vince. Get over it.
No, because he's naturally a heel.
Yeah, he is. He's come across like a heel in every single promo he's cut in the past month on TV, which is why he should be a heel and eventually turn back face, but they won't frickin' do that. But that is Roman Reigns. So, Jason, I appreciate your time, brother. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I know you're super busy today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this, and I'll definitely talk to you later, sir.
All right, man. Congratulations again, and I'll talk to you down the road.
Appreciate it, brother. Don't steal my line. I'll catch your ass down the road.
Bye,
Peace, dude. All right, that's Jason, guys. Thanks so much to Jason for coming on the show. He works double on Wednesdays, so I appreciate him coming on the show. We're going to call on RJ right now to come on. He just texted me again. He texted me twice saying any updates. Shit, I'm going to call him right now. I feel so bad. I told him I'd call him at like 12 to 12:15, which is technically when I said I would start doing this stream, but I think it's actually been going for the full 30 minutes. I just had the wrong link, so it might be uploaded to YouTube for like, there might be like 15 minutes of me just like going like this, trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. Anyway, so let's call RJ real quick and get his 2 cents on episode 200 of Hashtag. Oh, put on speaker.
Mr. Verizon ringback tone while your party is reached.
GSM!
Mr. Marceau, I was waiting for your ringback tone to make the air, but you picked up immediately.
That's how good I am.
I was waiting for that. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I thought it was Jack Gallagher.
No. Hell no.
Hell no. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Your first time on Hashtag Ask GSM in over a year and a half. Not in person, of course, but since you retired a year and a half ago.
No, I think I was on more. Was I on? I think I was on more recently.
No, I know we did Wrestle Rant Radio, but we didn't do Hashtag, though.
Okay.
See, there's a difference there. But it's funny, though. You did Hashtag with... we did it quite a bit in the span of like 6 months or so. So you were on a handful of episodes. I don't know exactly which ones. I think you might be either tied with Jason or second to John in terms of how many appearances you've had here on the show. But it's been a bunch, though. So welcome to episode 200.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here today.
It's on the stream, but it took me 15 minutes to go live. So I told you I'd call you at 12 to 12:15. Call you at 12:34.
Classic GSM.
How was NXT Law on Thursday? What were your thoughts on that before we get started?
I thought the show was good. Trying to think. I thought pretty much all the matches were good. Like I said, nothing spectacular happened like last time I went, but I thought all the matches were good.
Yeah, no title changes.
I don't know if the other 2 shows that are in the Northeast are the same. I'm assuming they had different. I'm assuming like Aleister Black was on that show. Maybe
no, I think they were all the same. They had the. I was going to tell you, they were all the same. They had more shows. They had another one in Mass, and they had another one in Pennsylvania. And I was looking at the cards, literally the exact same card. So down in Florida, which was, I mean, I guess they're doing the same matches and whatever. But I was looking at you know how they have the Florida house shows, like where they're from, obviously.
Correct.
So I was looking at the cards for those shows. They had No Way Jose. I don't know if Ember Moon was there, but I know Nikki Cross was there, which is why she wasn't with Sanity. The main event for those shows in Florida, Aleister Black versus Donovan Dijak.
Yikes, that's good.
Why didn't they do that in Massachusetts? That's where he's from.
Wow, GSM. Bad booking by Triple H.
I was pissed. I mean, we got to see Adam Cole, baby, but we didn't get to see Donovan Dijak. I was so mad. You put that thought in my head, like, what if Dijak's here? I'm like, holy shit, Dijak's going to be here. He's going to make his debut. And then he didn't show up. Aleister Black wasn't there either. I was kind of mad about that.
Same.
All right, so let's get to the questions here. There's a couple. I'm going to see if there's any ones that you might be interested in answering. Let's see. Okay, Deshaun K from Facebook. I'm going to go through the Facebook questions. This one's a good one. What do you think the plans would be for Raw's main event at Survivor Series since Brock Lesnar might not show up? RJ, what are your thoughts?
Jesus Christ, that's a tough one right off the bat. GSM kids kill me already. I could see them doing like maybe I don't know. I think Cena's done for the near future, so I wouldn't say anything with him. Maybe do like Team Braun versus Team Reigns. Besides that, I honestly couldn't tell you what they do. Maybe they do the women. I don't know. Maybe they do something with the women there. I'm not quite sure. I'd probably say Team Braun versus Team Roman in some kind of form. And I'm not sure what they put in there. Something like Miz, all those other people. Jason Joy will get a bone maybe. Who knows? But I'd go Team Reigns versus Team Strowman.
I mean, what else do you do? I mean, we were talking on Monday, like, you texted me, like, what do you do with Braun after that? And I asked you, like, what do you do with anyone after that pay-per-view? Because John's gone. Lesnar's gone for the foreseeable future. See you in January, buddy, and see the championship in January, too, I guess. But, like, what do you do with anyone else? Do you do the Shield reunion? Do you think we're headed towards a Shield reunion at TLC with them versus, like, the Miz Taraj or something?
That's terrible. Like, they could do that, but that's not, like, a main event.
No, it's not. Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible. There's like one guy. The whole faction sucks about the Miz. That wouldn't even be like. Maybe they did Miz and Cesaro and Sheamus, but like I feel like we've seen Cesaro and Sheamus versus Ambrose and Rollins so many times. Like at this point, it's getting like it's so tiresome. I've seen it so many times. Singles, tag matches. I bet you we've had over a dozen matches, singles or tag, in like the span of like 3 months. It's just too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to do. I mean, I guess it makes sense from a storyline standpoint, but that's not a money match. Like, the Shield's first match back in 5 years is with the Miz Taraj. Like, that doesn't, like, the Shield, or you put Rollins, Ambrose, and Roman together versus the Miz, which is even then a stretch, and I love the Miz, and even that's a stretch. But you do the Miz, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas, the match would be over in like 5 seconds.
Maybe they do like a cross promotion. I'm not sure. Maybe do like I don't know Owen. Well, maybe I don't know Owen, Zayn, somebody else. I don't know. I'm
Well, you
really reaching at that point, but
you mentioned
I
it.
don't know, maybe do something with SmackDown. Maybe I don't know.
Well, you mentioned it right there. Maybe not at Survivor Series, but at TLC and I, we're kind of going away from the question at this point. We can do some. I guess Raw and SmackDown. They could do what they did last year. With Raw versus SmackDown. The show sucked, but I like the concept. But the 6-man tag team match that you mentioned, maybe not Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus. I don't know what Cesaro's update is on his mouth. I don't know if he's cleared to compete or whatever, but what if it was Sheamus, Cesaro, and Strowman? And it's not random because he has history with Reigns, obviously, and he's been beaten up on Ambrose, and he faces Rollins next week. So do you think that could make sense?
Yeah, I could do that.
I get Strowman in a main event match who's not facing Elias on the kickoff show or something.
Need more Elias.
I want to walk with Elias, but I don't know. I guess that would work, but yeah, for Raw.
Yeah, no, you said that. I guess that could work. I just feel like that's like a downgrade for Strowman and Reigns.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
it definitely is.
They're doing their own thing, so
yeah.
Whatever. Hey, like they kind of bat themselves in such a hole that you really don't have much. With all the people gone, they really don't have much for them to do. So
yeah, exactly.
Classic weekly booking by Vince McMahon.
What are we going to do after No Mercy, sir? I don't know. Book it on the fly. Okay, sir. I love you, Vince. I love you. Well, do you want a cup of coffee, sir?
That's how it literally goes.
That's how it goes in the room. We haven't been there, but I know that's exactly how it goes down every single week. But, yeah, no, I don't know where they're going with this. I guess we'll find out in due time. And it makes sense to do Miz and Jordan Part 2. I mean, I don't really care about Jason Jordan at this point, but they did tease the feud to continue on Raw. I mean, he faced the Miz Taraj, and Roman brought up a bunch of things about Jordan. Oh, if you didn't have the Miz Taraj, he would have beat you, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like that feud isn't over anyway. So you do Miz and Jordan Part 2, and then you do the Shield versus Strowman, Sheamus, and Cesaro. That makes the most sense to me, as opposed to Miz Taraj. Like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. 2 losers and a decent guy at best.
Second question.
Great.
What'd you say?
Against 3 good guys. terrible.
The same Shield that took on 3 former world champ. Okay, Ryback wasn't a world champion, but they had that match with Ryback, who was pretty hot at the time. And Team Hell No at TLC 2012, and then 5 years later, they're facing Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. It's like, who cares? Who gives a shit? They beat him in 10 seconds. Speaking of Survivor Series, also from Deshaun, you might find this interesting. If the rumors are true that WWE is doing a horsewomen versus horsewomen match at Survivor Series, who should win the match and who should be the sole survivors?
Is it like the MMA? I don't know any of the. I only know Ronda Rousey and MMA. I don't know the other 3 chicks in that one. I don't know. They probably, if they ever did that, they'd probably have Rousey winning. So they're like, I don't know, she's a big name.
Well, Shayna Baszler. Oh yeah, you didn't watch the Mae Young Classic. Never mind. Shayna Baszler is the second.
I know Shayna Baszler. That's the only one I know.
And the other one is Roderick Strong's wife that they've showed in NXT a few times.
Did she just have a baby?
Yeah, she just had a baby.
I don't think she can. I don't think she'll be able to wrestle in a month. But
yeah.
If that was to happen, I would assume it'd come down to probably Charlotte and Rousey.
Yeah, that would make sense. I could see them building to a Charlotte Rousey match at WrestleMania. I would have the horsewomen, the MMA horsewomen win just to give them a win. Because if they lose, then who cares about Charlotte and Ronda at WrestleMania? Like, Ronda's already a loser coming off that loss at UFC whatever last year. She's already a fucking loser, so you got to give her some sort of a win, right?
Seriously, she hasn't won in like 2 years.
She hasn't. Like, you're not joking. She has not won in like 2 years. She needs a win. Yeah, that's what I would do with the women at Survivor Series come next month. There was a question here on YouTube from the live chat from Rusty Rages Regularly. He said, who does RJ see as the SmackDown champion, as the WWE champion come the Royal Rumble? I know the Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, I know he's your favorite right now, but who do you see as a champion come the Rumble?
Hopefully not the Maharaja. God almighty. We went over this when we went to Lowell. I tried my best to like invest in Jinder, and he just sucks. Like I can't. Like I said, it's pretty bad when you try to invest in somebody, and it is so bad you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he does for me. He doesn't do anything for me. I tried my best. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm hoping Shinsuke. I think he has to win at this point, but who knows with them? They're really in love with Jinder. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping it's going to be Shinsuke, hopefully, by Royal Rumble.
I got scared because, I mean, Shane and Owens should main event the show, and KO did say last night on SmackDown that they'll main event, and they're not wrong, and it's inside Hell in the Cell. It's the best thing going in the show by far, so it should main event the pay-per-view. But that, to me, scared me, because if they do Jinder and Nakamura in the undercard, that's even a bigger chance that Mahal might retain. Because you know how they like to end the show with like the champion and Nakamura winning the belt? Would they really have Nakamura winning the belt on the undercard? Like, that's my question. And I don't know if they would do that. So I'm scared.
Yeah, the whole thing is, like, oh my God. Because if he loses, then who's next? Like, the issue is there's not that many guys. It's not that much. No.
So, yeah, exactly. He's United States champion, so do you put the belt on Adrian? I mean, like you said, Nakamura by the Rumble would make sense. I mean, they should have put the belt on him tomorrow because Jinder sucks. But I completely agree. I mean, we were texting back and forth with this multiple times since May. It's like, I don't really care. I mean, even before he won the belt, I was like, you know what? I'm willing to give this guy a chance. He's a fresh face. Couldn't give 2 shits about him. He sucks, but I'll give him a chance. He won the title. It's like, better than Orton, but you know what? I'm still not buying it, but I'll give it some time. And it's like the entrance is cool. You know, the Singh brothers are awesome. Put the belt in the Singh brothers. I'd rather have them be champion than Jinder. And then like a month goes by Money in the Bank, I remember texting you like, you know what? I'm still not sold, and it's been a month, but you know, it's only been a month. You know, I'll give him more time. The guy's, you know, he's just coming into the role. He'll get better. You know, he'll be good. He'll can have a good match with Orton tonight, and had a decent match that night. And then, you know, July goes by, and then August, and now it's September. It's like, okay, I couldn't give 2 shits about this guy. The Mr. Miyagi bullshit on SmackDown last week was the turning point for me. I said, I'm done. I can't go on with this. The show sucks. SmackDown every week is not the same show that it was a year ago. That goes without saying, and it goes beyond Jinder. But the guy's the face of the show. When he's your champion, and the segments that he's involved in suck, then why would you be surprised that SmackDown is in the shitter right now? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would anyone think that Jinder's going to carry this show into the future when he's still champion? The guy would be better as a mid-card guy than a freaking WWE champion. I'm not sold. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not either. Hopefully Shinsuke wins, but if he doesn't, I have no idea where they go from there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'll ask you one more question before I let you go. This one's from @BradBirdR from Twitter. Let's see here. I think this one might be of interest to you too, because we talk about it a lot, and we also watch it quite sometimes too. Would the John Cena versus Rock match from WrestleMania 28 be remembered more fondly? Other than the Wild Ones entrance for The Rock, which was great, I will say that, but he says, would the Cena versus Rock match Mania 28 be remembered more fondly if it was truly once in a lifetime? What are your thoughts on that, RJ?
No, that's a good one. If it was only once in a lifetime, I think more people would obviously talk about the match more, and I think the feud would have been talked about more. Once they did it the second time, I feel like people kind of forget how good the first match and the build-up and all that was, and how good the match really was. Like, the whole spectacle and all the hurrahs. The second match kind of, for me at least, I only really remember the second match when they go to the top of the ring and top of the stage and make out at the top. That's the only thing I remember, at least. But besides that, the first match was really good. The second one just kind of tainted for me.
It was a huge disappointment. Did we watch the second one together, or did we only watch the first one together? Not live, but like I remember I was over your place. We were watching the WrestleManias. I think we only watched the
first one together. I don't want to see I didn't want to see the makeout too many times.
We watched WrestleMania 29 together. I don't think we watched Cena Rock though. I think I left before you even started watching because I hate that match.
Thank God.
The 28 match is great. I mean, he said, would it be remembered more fondly? And I don't know what other people's thoughts on this. I don't think people, universally hate the match. I really like the 28 match. Not to say it was an instant classic. I mean, it's John Cena and The Rock. It's not going to be any CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan match. But for what it was a damn good match. They had the crowd. The people cared. I don't know, and I thought the result was great too, so I really liked that match. So it's not like, oh, that match sucked because the rematch sucked. I think everyone agrees that the rematch was terrible for the most part. And it was. The whole match was terribly wrestled. And like you said, oh, John Cena gets the pass. I was talking to this, I think, earlier with Jason before I got on the phone with you, that it wasn't a passing of the torch moment. When Cena beat Rock and he's like making out with him at the top of the stage, and then he's like raising his hand. It's like, dude, you've been on top for 10 years. How is this a passing of the torch moment? That doesn't make any sense. It's like when Hogan and Rock was great at WrestleMania 18. That WrestleMania was a great show. That was your first WrestleMania, was it not?
It was.
So then Rock beats Hogan. I think that was 02. Rock beats Hogan, and he's endorsing him, and it's a great match. But it's like, dude, Rock's been on top for like 5 years at this point. It's like, why would it be passing of the torch? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, like I said, that second match just changed the first one for me.
Oh, shit. Okay, one final question for you. I really want to get one more question out of you, Mr. Marceau. It might be another 2 years before you have in the show again, so I want to milk this for all it's worth. I know you're coming out of retirement like Ric Flair. Oh my God, I have to ask you this real quick. I know someone just sent in a question in the live stream. I'll get back to that in a couple minutes. It's about the Bullet Club. I know you hate the Bullet Club, don't you?
I keep careless about the Bullet Club.
This kid, we were NXT LOL, and Mr. Marceau saw all the Bullet Club shirts, and he was pooping on them the entire time. Oh, it was so funny.
I was.
I'll save the Ric Flair question. I have a question for you at the end, but I'll save that for after this. Real quick, from Jeremy from Facebook. Do you think they might turn Sami Zayn heel and have him join up with Kevin Owens after what happened on SmackDown last night?
I could see it. I don't know. Do something with the guy. He's been freaking barely on the show. Where he is. He's losing the freaking Aiden English, for Christ's sake. So, I think that turning him heel would be a good idea. I didn't see all SmackDown. I did see the little segment that they had together. I didn't see the match or anything, but I think doing something with him, doing anything than what they're doing with him now would be better for him. I don't know how he's not on the show weekly and how they've failed to utilize him correctly, but this company does a lot of things stupid, so who knows?
Yeah, it's almost just mind-boggling that he's been used worse on SmackDown than he ever was on Raw. Like, how is that even possible? That doesn't even make sense. And he comes to SmackDown, he literally has lost. He has never beaten Aiden English. He lost like 3 matches to the guy. Like, how does that even happen?
Because he's a loser.
That's what I've said before. Like, the guy's a loser. He's a freaking loser.
He is. You lose, you're a loser.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know if I would turn him heel, but you know what? Like you said, just do anything. Just to get the guy back on TV. I thought the stuff they did last night, you said you didn't watch the match. The match was good for the 10 minutes it got. The opening segment I thought was great. Just give the guy more TV time. He's like, how are we getting more of Jinder on TV than we are Sami Zayn? I know the guy's the champion, but it's like, oh my God. It's like, why would you...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not sure.
Doesn't make any sense. Before I let you go, Mr. Marceau, my own personal question for you. Did you see yesterday, I thought you would get a kick out of this, did you see the headlines that Ric Flair said that he has slept with over 10,000 women? Mr. Marceau, you there? I think we might have lost him.
Hello?
Oh, you there?
You might have lost me. I'm here. I think
Oh, okay. Sorry, did you hear that, though?
I said he's a nature boy. Honestly, this guy sleeps with any women at the bar that he can get.
So you do believe his claim that he slept with over 10,000 women?
I do.
Wasn't he at the bar when we went to TLC a couple years ago across the street?
He was at the floor getting hammered.
Good shit. He's been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah, he has.
He's
1,500.
Yeah, I was going to say he's actually been doing it for like 50 years. More like 1,500, Jesus. Oh, man. Mr. Marceau, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Glad you're out of retirement. A lot like the Nature Boy. I'm sure this won't be the last time. You're coming out of retirement more times than Ric Flair on Wrestle Rant Radio and on Hashtag. But it's always a pleasure to have you, brother. I'm sure I'll see you soon. I'll see you at the Rumble. We're going to the Rumble in a few months. You looking forward to that?
Rumble. All right, sounds good.
Rumble road trip. You picking me up? You picking my ass in my house, and then we're going from there.
Can't wait.
Can't wait for you to drive home from here and 3 o'clock in the morning again. This time you'll be all by yourself. Sorry about that.
Terrible.
All right, Mr. Marceau, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. You've contributed quite a bit to 200 episodes, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Perfect. All right, see you later.
All right, sir. I'll catch your ass down the road.
Bye.
See you. All right, thanks to RJ for coming on the show. He's been on quite a few episodes over the last 2 years, so it was great to have him on. Yeah, I know. I saw your question, Rusty, or I saw your comment. He did sound like a robot at one point. I thought I was losing him, so I'm glad the service got back. The service in my room is really bad. The lighting actually isn't all that great, so I know this is like the least professional video I've ever done, which is saying something because all my other videos are very unprofessional too. But anyway, so... yeah, so let's get to some more questions here. Rusty's got a non-wrestling question. I'll get back to that. Hopefully I'll make some more calls to some random people. I might make a surprise call to a certain someone, a special someone, in about 7 minutes at 1 Eastern time. That should be pretty entertaining. If not, I think she's off from 1 to 1:30. I guess we'll find out. But anyway, I'll answer Sandy Dad's question. Sandy Dad F. Thoughts on Bullet Club showing up outside of Raw? Someone else asked about that in the list of questions I got for today's video, before I started recording. But I might as well just answer it now. I thought it was cool. I watched the video, and I don't really watch... I think it was actually Rusty that sent in the question, too. I don't really watch Being the Elite at all. I just don't have time. And I love the Bullet Club. I love Cody. I love Marty Scurll. I love the Young Bucks. I just don't watch the show. I've watched very few episodes of it in full. But I watched that one. And I love the DX invasion from many, many years ago. I thought that was a great angle. It wasn't even an angle. They were just kind of having fun with it. And it's super entertaining. So I thought the fact that they spoofed that was awesome. Like, word for word, like, did you come here to watch the WWF? No! I thought it was hilarious. You got to check out the video if you haven't already. They didn't actually go in or anything, but it was super entertaining. So I thought it was great. It doesn't mean anything. Like, the Bullet Club's coming to Raw. Like, they were going to show up at the show. Like, if you thought that, I'm sorry that you actually believe that. But, yeah, no, I thought it was a great video. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. I love the Bullet Club, unlike RJ. Bullet Club, baby! But I thought it was a great video. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So let's go to Russ. There's a lot of questions, like a lot of written questions that people sent in from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, from you guys and other people that I haven't even gotten to yet. There's a lot of them, and I'll get to more as we go along here. Let me just answer this one question from Rusty in the chat. The non-wrestling question, let me see. Oh, Rusty was at the DX invasion all those years ago? Holy shit. That's cool. His question was, do either of you... so I'm sorry, I already hung up on RJ, but did you either of you watch This Is Us, and if so, what do you think of it? I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. That, for some reason, that sounds familiar. I don't know, what is This Is Us? I feel like I've seen someone tweet about it before or something like that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't answer that question. I don't know what it is, let alone have seen it. And I also have not seen Stranger Things. I saw your tweet. You didn't ask me if I've seen the show. I'm just saying. I think the new, like, trailer dropped today. Or does the show drop today? I think the show drops... No, it's the trailer, because I think the show drops next month, the season 2. I haven't even seen the show. I've gotten so many recommendations from people to watch Stranger Things, but I just don't have the time. But then again, I watched Glow, and I made time to watch that, which was great. But maybe I'll watch Stranger Things when I have the time at some point. This week's been super busy, but maybe eventually. Were there any other questions in the thing? Let's see. It's a drama on NBC. Okay, pretty cool. No, yeah, I don't really watch TV, to be honest with you. Like, I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown, and that's all I watch for TV. I watch Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty, I will say, is a great fucking show. But that's not... It is on TV. It's on Adult Swim. I don't watch it on TV. I watch it on, like, the next day on AdultSwim.com. Jason actually turned me onto that show, and it's a really, really funny show. And I love Back to the Future, so I actually have my... This is, like, the benefit of doing it in my room. I have my Mr. Doc Emmett Brown from Back to the Future, my Funko Pop vinyl figure that I got when I was with my girlfriend a couple months ago. I think she actually got that one for me. And I love Back to the Future so much, but I've actually never... I'd heard of Rick and Morty before this year, and then Jason turned me on to it, and I've loved the show. I think the season finale is coming up this week, but... Let's get back to the wrestling questions here. I know I'm all over the place, so I apologize. But let's see. Or actually, before we get started with more questions, and I'm going to answer Emmanuel's, because Emmanuel had a great question. You got 6 watching now. Pretty cool. Cool shit. So thanks to everyone tuning into the show. I appreciate it. I know noon, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon is a really weird time to do a live stream, but the cool thing is, we've never done a live stream before here on the show. This show might run like 2-3 hours, which is why I had to do it at noon, because I got to leave around like 3 Eastern, so in like 2 hours. And I got to take a shower and all shit. This is like my pajamas. This is what I wore to bed last night. My Mr. Anderson Pro Wrestling is real shirt. But like Wednesday is like the only day, and Thursday too are my 2 biggest free days between Monday, Tuesday, and the weekend. So I thought Wednesday around this time would be the best time to do it, even though people are like working and in class and stuff. I know Emmanuel's got to leave soon. I know he said he had class. So thanks a lot for tuning in, Emmanuel, and all your questions. I'll answer your question real quick. Let me just tweet out. We are still live on episode... You guys get to see like behind the scenes of me tweeting for hashtag AskGSM, which is the first. On episode 200 of AskGSM. Be sure send in your questions now in the live chat, and I will answer them. Oh wait, and I'll send in your questions now in the live chat, or here on the Twitter. Yeah, I've actually been doing the show for 15 years. I'm just kidding. No, I've been doing hashtag for 4.5 years, but I have had the channel online for over 8 years, like 8.5 years. I've been doing it since April of 2009. And I had never done a live stream. I mean, obviously, YouTube didn't start doing live streams. I don't know when they actually started doing them. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But I had never done one before now. For whatever reason. I think I was going to try. Like, you guys know I love my SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 GM mode stuff. Speaking of whom, I might call John. He doesn't. I actually told him a couple weeks ago I might call him. I haven't talked to him since. But whatever. We'll give him a call anyway. He said he was pretty free on Wednesdays. I know I'm all over the place. But, so yeah, I thought I was going to do a live stream for like my SVR 07 GM mode a few years ago. I never ended up panning out. I never ended up doing it. Maybe at some point it would be pretty cool. We ended up doing it anyway. Like an audio version, John and I, for Wrestle Rant Radio a few months ago. Like our behind the scenes, how we book SVR 07 GM mode, which is not really all that interesting to anyone but us. But yeah, so I was going to do that. I never did. So I was like, you know what? Just do it for hashtag 200. Why not? And you guys have made the show possible, so I super appreciate that. Sandy Dead F, let's go this real quickly before I get to Emmanuel's question. He said he's got to, before he's got to leave in like 20 minutes, he said, push, repackage, release, Mustafa Ali, Drew Gulak, Tony Nese. Release them all, just kidding. I think anyone else would say that, because I don't know if a lot of people care about the Cruiserweights. Push Mustafa, Drew Gulak is pretty great. I'm going to release Tony Nese. I could not give 2 shits about the guy. They're all great wrestlers, but he's got the least amount of character development of all 3 of them. I don't really care about Tony Nese, so I'm going to get rid of him. Push Drew Gulak. I think he's got a great gimmick right now. The whole PowerPoint thing is friggin' hilarious, so I'm going to push him. Repackage Mustafa Ali. Like, oh, you know, the character development, you he's a great wrestler, but he's like, oh, don't boo me because I'm Indian, or that's what Jinder says. He's like, cheer me because I'm different, or something like that. I don't know. But I would push him. He's got a great finisher, or I would repackage him. Excuse me. I'd repackage him, push Gulak, and release Tony Nese, because I just don't give two shits about the guy who wears abs. So yeah, let's get to Emmanuel's question before he's got to go. I thought he sent in a great question, and I don't spend too much time on these questions. Like, sometimes I'll think of something real quick and write it down. This one was a fun one to do. So he sent this in from last week, on last week's episode, and to answer for today. So he goes, you watch a lot of wrestling, right? So here's an experiment for hashtag AskGSM200. Create a 7-match card using the best wrestling matches you've ever seen. Before you set up the 7 matches, however, you must follow 7 rules for this card. 1. Include at least 1 men's singles match, 1 women's singles match, and 1 tag team match. 2. Include a match from at least 3 different promotions, example, WWE, WCW, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, etc. NXT does not count, which makes sense because it is WWE. 3. Cannot use the same wrestler twice. Example of AJ Styles was in a match, and it was from WWE. And if an AJ Styles match from WWE is picked, you cannot pick an AJ Styles match from another promotion. 4. Include at least 1 multi-way match. Example, a Fatal 4-Way, a Battle Royal, a Triple Threat, Tag Team, etc. 5. Include at least 1 gimmick match. Example, Money in the Bank, War Games, Great Consequences, etc. 6. Include at least 1 TV match. Example, Raw, SmackDown, Nitro, Impact, etc. And 7. Final match must be a main event match. Example, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker from WrestleMania 25 will not count for this. So I didn't really put too much thought into like the match order. Wait 1 second. Okay, I know what I'm going to put last. I guess really the match that comes last is the only one that really matters to kind of abide by those rules. But I did go by those rules, and this was the match card that I came up with. And you said like the best wrestling that I've ever seen. I picked just a lot of matches that I love, like not a Yoshitatsu versus Eugene match from Superstars in 2003, but I picked a lot of matches I thought were good. I think a lot of people might agree with, from TNA, GFW, whatever the hell they're calling themselves, WWE. Ring of Honor, I think those are the only 3 promotions I picked, and NXT that is included with WWE. So a lot of my favorite matches, obviously, and some matches I think other people would like to. So number 1, this kind of fulfills the multi-man match and like the TNA match, whatever, from one promotion. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels for the X Division Championship from Unbreakable 2005. Which I think is kind of a given. I think one of, if not the best match in TNA history. I've seen it. I didn't watch it live, obviously. I didn't start watching TNA until 2008, so over 9 years ago, in August of that year. But I did see it on the AJ Styles compilation DVD that TNA put out a few years ago, I think last year. An amazing match. The match is every bit as good. I think I actually watched it for the first time a few years ago, but I completely forgot about it. It's every bit as good as it's built up to be, as it's hyped up to be. So yeah, I would put that match on there. Number 2 fulfills the women's match, obviously. What else would I put? By Sasha Banks versus Bayley from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I know you said the promotion thing, but you could put a match. I think NXT, you said it doesn't count, but I'm going to put it in anyway, so I wasn't sure what you meant by that. Maybe you'll clear that up in the comments or the live stream, whatever, in the live chat. Sasha Banks and Bayley from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. The first one, because I was there. Arguably the greatest women's match in the company's history, in WWE history. So I got to put that on there. 3, obviously, The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 25. Why the hell not? Why wouldn't you? 4, for Ring of Honor, my favorite match in Ring of Honor's history that I've seen anyway. I've only been watching Ring of Honor for about 2.5 years now, so it's not a lot. But anyway, so The Addiction versus the Young Bucks versus the Motor City Machine Guns, All-Star Extravaganza 8 from last September. And the reason I put that on there, there's a lot of good Ring of Honor matches I like, but the reason I put that on there was because I was at that show almost exactly a year ago, September 30th of 2016, at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, the same arena that RJ and I went to NXT and Noah to last Thursday. And it was a great show. That was the main event. One of the craziest matches I've ever seen live. I saw the match with Tom, who I might call soon. More on that later. But I would put that match on there. Just a phenomenal match. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. Might come as a bit of a surprise. From SmackDown, September 18th, 2003. the 60-minute Iron Man match for the WWE Championship I'm going to put on there. That fulfills the TV match. Now, I would put like CM Punk versus John Cena or something along those lines. Hey, John Ritland, he's in the live chat. Cool shit. I'll definitely answer your questions in a second. Thanks for coming on, dude. You're awesome. Check out his channel, by the way, too. Just click on his name. I think it might take you right to his channel. John's awesome. Anyway, and he's supported the show quite a bit. So that fulfills the TV match. Now I was going to put Punk and Cena, but you'll find out why in a second why I didn't put that as the Raw match. James Storm versus Bobby Roode from Bound for Glory 2012. I think it was a street fight. That was my favorite match in the company's history, along with the triple threat. But I was actually watching that match live as it happened 5 years ago. Phenomenal match. I love Beer Money. I love Bobby Roode. I love James Storm, and I love the match. I love the whole feud. So Storm and Roode from Bound for Glory 2012. And finally, the main event is the main event here. Oh, she texted me. Maybe I'll call her soon. More on that soon. But John Cena versus CM Punk from Money in the Bank 2011. Obviously, one of, if not my favorite match of all time from Money in the Bank 2011 for the WWE Championship. Like, I would put Cena and AJ Styles on there from SummerSlam 2016 from when I was there, but AJ's already on the list, and Cena's on the list too. So, I don't think I have any repeats, though. Like, I would have also put Beer Money versus Motor City Machine Guns from the Best of 5 series they had a few years ago. Actually, more than a few years ago at this point. It was from the summer of 2010, but Beer Money's already on the list, obviously, with Storm and Roode. So, again, Styles, Joe, Daniels, Unbreakable 05, Banks and Bailey from TakeOver Brooklyn 1, Undertaker Michaels from Mania 25, Addiction Young Bucks and Motor City Machine Guns versus from All-Star Extravaganza 8, Lesnar and Angle from SmackDown September 18th, 03, Storm and Roode from BFG 2012, and Cena and Punk from Money in the Bank 2011. So thanks a lot to Emmanuel for sending that question. Thought it was really cool. I had a lot of fun putting it together the other day, about a week ago. I think I put it together like while I was watching TNA last Thursday or whatever it was. So thanks a lot for coming on the show or sending in the question, dude. I appreciate it. But yeah, no problem, dude. John, he just sent in the thing. Very proud of you. You've worked incredibly hard for years, and it's kept them paying off. Thanks a lot, John. I appreciate that, man. John is one of the few people who have supported this channel consistently over the last 4 years, or even during that period that it was off Twitter in like the latter half of 2013. I was only on Facebook, and John followed me to Facebook. He already liked my Facebook page by that point, but we kept in touch through there, came back to Twitter a few months after that, have kept in touch ever since. I've seen his own channel grow, and he's got awesome videos and movie reviews that I watch all the time, so check out his stuff. I thoroughly appreciate that, dude. To answer your questions, he's got, I think, 2 here. Yeah, so the first one, worst Cruiserweight champion, Hornswoggle, Enzo, or Oklahoma in WCW? I'm going to have to do Oklahoma just because I don't even remember that. So I feel like that would be the worst one. And obviously I'm not huge into WCW. I think you guys know that. But so I think it'd have to be Oklahoma. Enzo's not, actually Enzo would be the best because I hate Enzo at this point. He's annoying as hell, but at least he turned heel. At least they're making the most of it. So I'll put Oklahoma for that one. Hornswoggle, it was pretty bad. It was obviously the death of the Cruiserweight division. But I'm going to put Oklahoma. And his second question here, would the 205 Live roster be better off being integrated into Raw and SmackDown to utilize them to their full potential? And how would you use them? Example, tag teams, IC, or US title feeds? That's a good question, too, and I've talked about this before. I wrote a whole article last week for HiddenRemote.com about 5 guys I think that could thrive outside of the division. I mean, all the division guys, the whole division should be abandoned and put the guys on Raw and SmackDown. But, what I would do, tag teams, Akira Tozawa and Apollo Crews. Why they aren't already a tag team is beyond me. I mean, I understand Tozawa's in the Cruiserweight division, but, like, who cares? Put them in a freaking tag team. They're great together. They have so much chemistry, and Crews isn't doing anything anyway, so why not? I would do that. Kendrick and Gallagher. I know Jeremy, if he's watching, maybe not live right now, but if he watches at some point, I saw him tweet about it this morning. Jeremy8911 on Twitter. I agree. I think Gallagher and Kendrick. Actually, I think he sent in a question about it. Let me see. I think he sent it in from Facebook. I might as well just answer it now. Or maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was somebody else. I'm going to look for it real quick. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing someone send in a question about Gallagher and Kendrick. Maybe not. I don't see it on my document here. I could have sworn someone sent in a question about it. But maybe it was just a tweet from Jeremy. Oh, yeah, no. It was that Brad Burdard. Okay, so he asked, although they're probably a temporary alliance, if the Brian Kendrick and Gentleman Jack Gallagher became a full-time tag team outside of 205 Live, do you think they could be one of the top tag teams on either brand at the moment? Absolutely. Maybe more so on SmackDown. I don't maybe know about top tag teams right away, because you have New Day and Usos and Rollins and Ambrose and the Hardys, and who are out right now with Jeff being hurt. But you got a lot of great tag teams. The Revival should be back soon. The Bar. The Club, Gallows and Anderson. So maybe not right away, but they could be a great tag team. So I would do that. Cedric Alexander. It's like, dude, put him in the U.S. title feud. Put him in the IC title feud. The guy's great. They're just wasting him. I feel like they might have him be the one to beat Enzo for the belt ultimately, but oh my God, like put the belt on him right now. I can't believe they've been wasting him for the better part of the last year. But yeah, Alexander, Tozawa, and Cruz I would do as a tag team. Gallagher and Kendrick. I would put Kendrick on his own, but the tag team works too. They've already started it. Why not continue it? I think that was it. I know Tozawa. I think those were the 5 guys I put on my list anyway. Gallagher, Kendrick, Tozawa, and Alexander. There might have been. I'm trying to think who else is in the division that like Gulak would be cool, but are people really going to care about him in the heavyweight roster? Like TJP. TJP is really good. Rich Swann maybe might have success in an IC title feud, but like TJP, the guy's a good heel. He's a better heel than a babyface, but I don't know. The guy's been there since the beginning, so I just don't really care about him anymore. But thanks for the question, though. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, Emmanuel did say, for clarification, NXT matches were eligible for the Ultimate Match card. They just don't count as a non-WWE match. Okay, that's what I thought. John also said, should Braun ever win a title, or is he over enough as a monster that he doesn't need one? Yeah, I think he should win a title. It's a lot like Bray Wyatt, who, you guys know my thoughts on Bray Wyatt. What's next for Bray Wyatt has been the biggest running joke on this show for the last 2 years, because who cares what's next for Bray Wyatt? And I've said that God knows how many times here on the show. Anyone who's been watching long enough knows that, but anyway. Like I said with Bray Wyatt, like the guy never needed a title, but it would have been cool if he won one. And he did. He won the NXT or the SmackDown tag titles about a year ago with Harper and Orton. And then they were doing the Freebird rule. And then he won the WWE title a few months after that. So, which was really cool. And again, the feud with Orton sucked. The matches sucked. But at least he got to hold the WWE title. At least he could say he's a former world champion, which is pretty damn cool. So I will give him that. I think that's pretty awesome. But, yeah. What was I even saying? About? Oh, yeah, so Wyatt. I'm getting off track here. There's so many things to keep track of. But, yeah, no, I would give him a title at some point. I think he should be I think he should be Universal Champion right now. But the whole thing with Brock, and he's not even going to be here till January, it's like, who cares? You know, it's like, it's so stupid. But I think you should win a championship at some point. That's my 2 cents anyway. Let's see. That's fucking hilarious. What's next for Bray Wyatt? More JoJo's. Okay, I'm sorry, that's really funny. Next question from Rusty Rage regularly. Also from the chat. Will Cesaro ever become WWE champion? Yeah. I'm going to say yeah. Why not? Like, why not? I'm going to say yeah, he'll become WWE champion. I will. I still think, I know he's been here for 5 years and they haven't done anything with him yet, but I'm going to say he will. I'll go off on a limb and say he will. After what happened on Sunday and all the other amazing stuff that he's done in the past year, I think he could be a good WWE champion. Very unlikely, but you know what? I'll say yeah. Maybe definitely on SmackDown, but just not right now, obviously. So it's 1:15. The stream has been going on for an hour. We haven't even come close to answering all the questions I have listed here. I'll go through Emmanuel's next question here on YouTube real quick, from YouTube, not from the live stream, but he said there was another question I wanted to ask you for hashtag AskGSM200 Live, but in case I can't make it, I'll just put it here, and you're here now, obviously, before we got to go. A while ago, I said I recorded all the run times of WrestleMania on the network, and here they are. So I'll run through them real quickly, pun intended. WrestleMania 1, 2 hours and 16 minutes. 2, 3 hours and 1 minute. WrestleMania 3, 3 hours and 4 minutes. WrestleMania 4, 3 hours and 33 minutes. WrestleMania 5, 3 hours and 40 minutes. That was a long show. 4 and 5 were not my favorite WrestleManias. 6 was a long show, but I enjoyed that one more. 3 hours and 35 minutes. 7, I don't remember this one being 3 hours and 30 minutes long, but I guess it was. on that one. So to answer your question, that does surprise me. That's your ultimate question here. Do any of these runtime surprise you? 7 surprised me. I don't remember it being 7 hours and 30 minutes long, but I guess it was. WrestleMania 8, 2 hours and 41 minutes. WrestleMania 9, 2 hours and 43 minutes. WrestleMania 10, 2 hours and 43. WrestleMania 11, 2 hours and 25. Don't you love the WrestleManias that are only 2 hours and like a half hour, 2.5 hours? Like those were the good old days. Anyway, WrestleMania 12, 2 hours and 47 minutes. WrestleMania 13, 2 hours and 46 minutes. WrestleMania 14, 2 hours and 44 minutes. WrestleMania 15, 2 hours and 46 minutes. WrestleMania 16, 3 hours and 21 minutes. That's where we started to get into the 3-hour territory. 17, 3 hours and 45 minutes. That was a long show. Longest one, I think, to date. Yeah, I think it was. Up to that point, anyway. WrestleMania 18, 3 hours and 42 minutes. WrestleMania 19, 3 hours and 46 minutes. WrestleMania 20, 4 hours and 30 minutes. That was a long-ass show. That didn't surprise me because I remember it being that long, but that was a long-ass show. Didn't have to be, but it was. Like WrestleMania 32. WrestleMania 21, 3 hours and 44 minutes. WrestleMania 22, 3 hours and 53 minutes. WrestleMania 23, 3 hours and 41 minutes. 24, 3 hours and 52. 352. 25, 357. 26, 354. 27. That was 26, I'm sorry. 27, 3 hours 58. 28, 351. 29, 347. 30, 3 hour, 353. 31, 359. Like to the very last minute, almost 4 hours. 31, I remember that. 32, 4 hours and 50 minutes. And then 33, 5 hours and 10 minutes. The longest WrestleMania ever, and I was freaking there for it. So yeah, the only one that really surprises me is 7. I just don't remember it being that long. 17 too. Didn't feel that long, but just maybe because it was a great show. But of all the others are pretty much don't really surprise me. Those kind of make sense. Let's check out the live stream. So John asked in the live stream, I know you haven't watched much WCW, but based on what you have seen, what is your favorite match on Nitro, Clash of Champions, or in the company's history? There was a great, like you said, I haven't watched many WCW matches, but I saw Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio in 97, I think it was. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was, I think in the late 90s. So yeah, I enjoyed that match a lot. I'd probably put that on the list. Warrior and Hogan, just kidding. From WCW anyway. I don't know, those were the only matches I can remember. I know there's a bunch of others that probably are just escaping my mind in the moment. I've watched a bunch, but yeah, those probably Eddie and Ray from late '97. I'd put that one on the list too. Let's see, any more questions? Let's go back to the list here. You just made the list, and then I'll make a phone call in a couple more minutes. Amanda 450, AP 450 from YouTube. Would you rather sit front row at the Rumble or sit back row at WrestleMania? That's a great question. You know what? I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to wait to ask someone that question if I call. By the way, the next phone calls that I make are all completely unscripted. RJ and Jason knew I was calling them. The other people that I might call have no idea. I think maybe John, I told him weeks ago, but he's probably not expecting it. So if they pick up, it's going to be awesome. If they don't, whatever. I'm going to save that question. But her next question, though, I will answer. Where is the most random place that you have ever met a wrestler? That's a great question. I haven't met a lot of wrestlers in random places, but the few times it has happened was pretty sweet. So with Mick Foley was a bit more random, so I'll talk about that in a minute. Eddie Edwards, I was in Salem, Massachusetts. It's like Halloween town, every October. It's a great town to go for Halloween town or Halloween time, whatever. So I was there 2 years ago with my dad, my brother, and my roommate Connor, and we were in town for just to go get food and shit. And it was the day before Halloween. I'm pretty sure it was October 30th. It was on a Friday night, and we took the train into the city because you can't drive there. Like right before Halloween, it's freaking packed. It is packed beyond belief. So we took the train in. We were waiting for the train, and I'm like, wait a second, is that Eddie Edwards? And I knew his girlfriend too, Alicia, because she's from the Northeast Wrestling Circuit, and I think they're from Mass, obviously. I've seen them wrestle in Mass a bunch of times. So it didn't surprise me, but I was like, holy shit, is that Eddie Edwards? And I think he was like the World Tag Team Champion at that point, and it was so funny. So I ran up to him like, hey, excuse, are you Eddie Edwards? And he's like, yeah, yeah. And we talked for a couple minutes. He's like, oh, what brings you over here? I'm like, oh, I go to school at Endicott, blah, blah, blah. And he was super cool. We got a picture that someone photobombed, like one of his friends, which was funny in the back. But yeah, I met Eddie Edwards at a freaking train station in Salem, Massachusetts back in 2015. I'm like, huh, that was really cool. But that is not... Emmanuel's got to go. So see you, Emmanuel. Thanks so much for calling in. Not calling in, sorry. But for watching the stream, I appreciate it. And for all your questions and for your support of the show. Emmanuel's been a faithful follower for many, many years. So I appreciate him and all his contributions. So thanks, man. Enjoy your class, and I'll talk to you soon. But, yeah, so Eddie Edwards was really, really random. But that was a really cool experience. But Mick Foley was even more random. So I was on vacation that same year, a couple months before Eddie Edwards, when I ran into him in Salem. Was it Pennsylvania? No, it was New Hampshire. And I was on vacation in New Hampshire with my family. We went to a theme park. Not like Disney World, but it was like this recreation park, whatever. It was called Attach, okay? And it's a running joke between us now. Because I've talked to him twice about it in person since then. And he's ranted about it and how bad like their safety concerns were, their safety procedures and shit. So I was waiting in line for a ride, and and then I'm like, oh, and I'm wearing my Macho Man shirt, and the picture's online. I look like the happiest guy in the entire world because I was like, holy, I almost had a heart attack. I was waiting in line in the back of the line. I looked to my right. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking Mick Foley. I think I was wearing a Santa t-shirt, and the funny thing was, I was thinking of Mick before that because Santa's Village, if you're familiar with that from the Northeast. He's been there, like, he goes there, like, almost every single day because he loves Christmas so much. So, I was thinking about him when I was there a few weeks earlier. And so, or a few days earlier, excuse me. And then I was there and I saw him. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. I'm like, that's Mick Foley. And I ran into him, like, holy shit, dude, you're Mick Foley. He's like, dude, keep it down. And he was really cool. But I'm like, oh my God, that's Mick freaking Foley. That's incredible. But wait, is the stream working? I think it's back up. Okay, I was checking on the stream and it said it was like it paused for a second. That's weird. But yeah, I ran into him and we talked for a couple minutes. I'm like, dude, I love your books. Thank you so much. You're great. I love you. Mick Foley was awesome. He gave me the time of day. And not only that, I saw him get on the ride and I'm like, oh my God, I just ran into Mick Foley while I'm on vacation. Best vacation ever. And then he got on the ride, he got off the ride, and he was there with his kids, by the way. He wasn't there by himself. And he almost attempted to go on a ride and he had to be sent back down because he was too big for it or whatever. And his kids went on and they got hurt, so he left and he was super pissed. And I was talking about the ride. I'm like, oh my God, it's Mick fucking Foley. That's crazy. And I got to talk to him about it when I saw him again like a month later. And then again, I just recently saw him in Northeast Wrestling like a month ago. So that was awesome. One of the coolest wrestlers I've ever met and one of the coolest experiences of all time. So that was just incredible. I still have 140 characters, by the way. I keep on checking Twitter. I still have 140. Fuck you, Twitter. I want 280. Fuck you. Question. Let's make a call real quick before it's too late. And let me see if there's a good question to ask her. She's definitely going to pick up because she picks up every single time. I'm the one that... I don't pick up my phone. She picks up her phone, though. And I think you guys know who I'm going to call, but... Let's see if I can... get a good question. She might not even answer the question, but whatever. What would she even know? I'm looking through the list of questions. Oh, to answer Rusty's question real quick. Yeah, I know Rusty, that you're the one that made me question about the 280 things. You tweeted this morning. I'm like, where the fuck is my tweet? By the way, you can see my Intercontinental Championship, the old one. My new one's over here. I keep it right next to my desk. Thanks, Jason. But anyway. Your question was, are you a baseball fan? If so, what team? No, I'm not a baseball fan. If I had to pick any sport to watch, it would be baseball. I used to watch baseball. I used to play baseball. I never used to really watch it. But, if anything, probably Mets fan, because my family are Mets fans. So I'd probably say the Mets. But, beyond that, I don't really care about baseball. But let me try to find a question that I can ask her. Yeah, you know, here's a good one. I'll ask her about the No Mercy one from, let me see who sent this one in. From Mark from Facebook. Alright, she's definitely going to pick up. She's probably going to be like, oh, you're calling me. I'm like, yeah, you're on the show. Oh, shit. Here we go. I think the audio's coming through loud and clear. It's my girlfriend, by the way.
Hello.
Haley Bay, what's up?
Yeah.
So guess what I'm doing right now?
What?
I'm doing a live stream on YouTube for my Q&A video, and you're on the show right now.
Oh my god.
So I wanted to ask you a question because I know you only got a couple minutes before you have to go back in, but I want to, because you've been on the show before, so I felt it was only fitting to get you on the show at least once today.
Okay.
Okay, fine. You're going to answer this question because I know you actually know about it because we watched No Mercy together the other day. What was your favorite and least liked matches from No Mercy 2017? Come on, you watched this show. Were there any matches that you liked?
The Alexa Bliss match.
The Alexa Bliss match was pretty good. The Fatal 5-Way with the women was great. And I know you like Alexa, so I'm sure you were happy that you won. You probably wouldn't be saying that if she didn't win, but anyway. Any other matches you liked? What about the tag team match?
Yeah.
Except for Cesaro's teeth going up into his mouth.
Seth Rollins is the man.
Seth Rollins is the man. Are you a Roman Reigns fan? We answered this last time. Oh my god. Did you like Roman and John Cena?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I like the match. The fact you're a Roman Reigns fan, you're lucky I didn't just hang up the phone on you right now. Like I almost did last time. You'd be pissed. You would rake me over the coast with that one. But anyway. Least liked matches? What about any matches you didn't like from the show? That you can remember?
I know. Yeah, was the Enzo match thing on there?
Yeah, the Enzo Neville match. I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That was dumb. That was an awful match. Enzo sucks. Tell the people that Enzo sucks. What are your honest thoughts on Enzo Amore as Cruiserweight Champion? Go.
That's it.
That's it? What do you mean that's it? Nothing?
Nothing.
Wow, don't care about Enzo. Neither do I, so you're not alone. Any final thoughts of the people before I let you go?
Yeah, I gotta go back to work.
Go back to work, baby. You're working at, you're an up-and-coming wrestler at the Performance Center right now?
Huh?
I said you an up-and-coming wrestler at the Performance Center right now?
You know it.
Can I be your manager?
Yeah.
Of course, of course. So you got to go back to work. Have a great rest of your day. And, yeah, any final thoughts except for the fact that to go back to work?
No. I'm wearing my Hardy Boys t-shirt today, though.
That's what I like to hear. That's what the people need to hear. Wait, I was going to say which one, but the Reborn by Fate one, the one that we bought together, right? When I was with you a couple weeks ago? A month ago?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So represent the Hardy Boys. Hopefully Jeff can get through successful surgery. Delete. You're wonderful. And I will talk to you later, baby.
All right, bye.
All right, love you, Haley Bay. See you later.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so Haley had to make an appearance here on the show because she was on the show a few months ago, and it might have been the worst episode I ever did. Thanks, John. I appreciate the comment. Yes, Enzo as Cruiserweight Champion is trash. If I ever get hired by WWE, I will book you both very strong. Yes, thank you, John. I appreciate that. All right. Before I make more phone calls, I'll answer more questions. I think we've been going on like an hour and a half, which is why I had to do it at noon. I had to do the show at noon because it's going to go for a while. So we've had Jason on, we had RJ on, and we had Haley on, my girlfriend. So that's 3 people so far that have appeared on the show before. Oh, I might have to call Noah. Noah was on the show only a week ago, but I might have to get him back on right now. He might be busy, but I'll call him anyway. Let's just tweet out real quick. Jason. Jason, RJ Marceau. And even my girlfriend Healy have all made special appearances so far on... You know what? This is what pisses me off. I'm trying to write a freaking tweet right now, and I only have 140 characters, so I can't even put everything I want to say in here, because it's all 140, so goddamn you, Twitter. So far on hashtag AskGSM 200 live. Okay, Jason, RJ _ Marceau, and even my girlfriend Haley have all made special appearances so far on hashtag. Okay, that makes sense to me. Okay, that works. If I wasn't at work, I would say call me and answer some questions. Yes, dude. Yes, John. I would totally ask you some questions. I would definitely call you and ask questions. Okay, I'm going to fix my camera before it fucks up. I think that's okay. Okay, that should be good. As long as I don't move, but I keep on moving back and forth. So yeah, we got 3 people on so far. I'll try to make more phone calls in the next like 10 minutes or so. Let's answer some more questions. If Ziggler has never had a since he's never had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, this is from Amanda, AP450, by the way. Who would you want to see him face at WrestleMania 34 if it was up to you? Honestly, I don't care about Dolph Ziggler. You guys know about that. So I hope he's gone by that point. Not because I hate Ziggler, but you know what? Actually, I'll save that question for Noah. Let's call Noah right now. Let's go fucking Noah Wade. Let's get Noah Wade on the phone. And I will ask him that question because it's a great question. And he's also been to the Rumble and WrestleMania, so maybe he can answer both those questions. And also, to answer the No Mercy question, I know Haley answered it for me. Kind of the same thing. I hated the Cruiserweight title match. Didn't really care about the main event. The tag team match was great, and the women's match was great. And Jordan and Miz was good, too. So those are my 2 cents on that. Thursday. Noah Wade. Let's call him Noah. Doubt he's going to pick up, but let's try anyway. It's ringing. He won't pick up. Unless Haley texts me back. Probably got class or some shit. We'll leave him a voicemail, though. As long as his number doesn't show up. No. Oh my god.
Please leave your message for...
No, Wade, you are on hashtag AskGSM right now. I'm leaving you a voicemail. I wanted to give you a call to get you on the show. If you listen to this in the next half hour to an hour, call me back and I can get you on the show. But yeah, this voicemail is going to be on the show on YouTube. So yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't get you on. It was great doing the show last week. Thoroughly enjoyed your presence at NXT LOL and just hanging out with you last week, brother. But I'll talk to you soon. But yeah, if you hear this voicemail in the next hour or so, give me a call back and I can get you on the show, which would be amazing. I'm trying to get everyone that has ever guest hosted on hashtag, which you did last week, on the episode 200. So if you get this, if you hear this, call me back, brother. I'll catch your ass down the road. All right, awesome. I had to turn it off speaker because I don't want, like, he doesn't have his number as his outgoing, but I don't want to share anyone's numbers. Just in case. I think one person I might call, their number is like the outgoing, so I don't want to give anyone's number away. But anyway, yeah, Rusty, I saw your comment. Yeah, we'll get you on the show at some point. I don't know about a hashtag. It's harder to have people call in the hashtag. I only do it for special stuff like this, but maybe definitely on Wrestle Rant Radio soon. John's question from the live stream, John Britland, do you think ECW is as great as some people say it is, or do you think it's overrated? No, I think it's as great as people say it is. I don't think it's overrated. I'm not a big ECW guy, but I don't think it's overrated. So no, yeah, I think it's every bit as good as it was, especially for the time that it was around for in the late 90s, early 2000s. Had a lot of great matches, made a lot of stars, had a huge fan base, obviously. No, I don't think it's overrated. People don't like the hardcore stuff, and I don't either. I'm not even a big hardcore wrestling fan. But I think the promotion was as great as people say it is. It's not overrated. But again, to each their own. It's very subjective, but that's my 2 cents on that. Should we make another phone call? This guy might be on lunch break. And by the way, you know what? We're going to call Tom right now, and I'll give you some background real quick. So, Tom, my Wrestle Rant Radio co-host for a year, very good friend of mine for 2 years. I have not talked to him since I graduated. So he works at the school that I graduated from back in May. We haven't talked at all. We've just been super busy. since I graduated, since the day before I graduated. I think I last talked to him. So I haven't really talked to him since, unfortunately. So let's get our first interaction in like 4 months here in the show. And he's appeared here in the show before. I know Emmanuel knows what I'm talking about. I know he checked at that show. And Tom was great. I forgot what episode number it was. I know it was like in April. I don't think it was May. I think it was April. But he was on the show, and he was awesome. So I want to call him up to try to get him on the show. And it's going to be the first time we will have talked since May. I doubt he's going to pick up, though. He's working right now. He's super busy. But you know what? Just for the fuck of it, let's get him here on the show. And I guess there's no better time to give him a call than right now. So let's give Tommy Sharp a call. If he doesn't pick up, he doesn't pick up. But let's try anyway. I guess you don't know unless you try. Let's see. Contacts. And why isn't he here? Maybe he's under Tommy Sharp, not his real name. What the hell? Maybe he's under Tommy. I don't know what it is. God damn it. I gotta go for my fucking texts. A while ago. Okay, we're gonna call Tom. This is gonna be awesome if he picks up. I doubt he will, but you know what? Why the hell not? Let's just give it a shot. And if he picks up, it's gonna be great because I have not talked to Tommy in like 4 months, so it's gonna be super cool if he picks up. Let's give him a call.
Hello, this is Tom.
Tommy Sharp, what's going on, brother? It's Graham.
Graham, what's up, brother?
Dude, what's going on? How you been, brother?
I've been great, man. How have you been?
Great, dude. It's been a long time. I knew I had to give you a call. I gotta hear your voice again. What's going on, dude?
Oh, dude, it's been a heck of a busy summer, that's for sure. I've been thinking a bunch about you, man. How are things settling in?
Good. Yeah, dude. It's been good. It's been good. Just been hanging out and shit. I'm actually in graduate school right now.
Hey, great. That's awesome, man.
Thanks, man. So, yeah, I wanted to give you a call just to catch up, but also, so, you know how a couple months ago we did that Q&A video for YouTube like 4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah.
So I'm doing my big 200th episode right now, and we're live right now. We're live on the show. So I wanted to get you on and see if you had a couple minutes to answer a few questions with me real quick.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, I gotta.
I am.
I know. I figured you wouldn't pick up because I know you're busy and shit. So I'm like, you won't pick up. I'll give him a call anyway, just to see if he's around. But so I got this question. I think you might like this one. Would you rather sit front row at the Royal Rumble, Tom, or would you rather sit back row at WrestleMania?
Front row Royal Rumble or last row WrestleMania?
Yes.
Man, you know, I really honestly have to say out of all of my lower level experiences that you could, I don't care if you put me like on the roof, I still think it's a better seat than the lowest lower level.
Mm-hmm.
Front row might be a little bit different, but even in the Rumble, so much of that action is happening on all four corners. Some of it's happening on the outside, some of the reactions and stuff. And I can only imagine what the Rumble would look like from back there. But as you and I discussed last year with your WrestleMania experience and seeing some of the pictures that you had, I think you see the full WrestleMania show from the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think like that's the spectacle to take in for me. I think it would be last row WrestleMania.
I got to agree. I mean, I've never been to a Rumble before, only WrestleMania, but I was literally in the last row, and just being there is great. But yeah, I would have to agree. Just being at WrestleMania, and the Rumble's great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you've been watching for a long time. Rumble's one of those great pay-per-views, and you don't know what's going to happen. But just being at WrestleMania is magical. And you were pretty close to the front row for Hell in a Cell last year. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I was like I was fourth row back for Hell in a Cell, and similarly, there's just so much action you're used to seeing from your wonderful perch at home that when you're that close to it, it's definitely a different experience. You got to constantly kind of retrain yourself to be like, this is a close-up experience. This is different than an observer's experience, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
I think to take in the full show, especially at a big spectacle event, even Hell in a Cell would have benefited from being up and away from the action.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I mean, it was tough too because you have the cage right there, and there were 3 cell matches throughout the night, so it's kind of hard to see the match when you have this cell right in front of you. I mean, it's a cool spectacle, but it's kind of tough to see it, you know, especially at that point.
Yeah, it's definitely a little tough, and you know, not to divert too much from the question, but when it comes to Hell in a Cell, the way that the cell is, because it's that thin mesh grate kind of cage fencing, whatever it is. The closer you are, I think you lose definition of what's actually happening inside.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, especially being that close and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it was a good show. But yeah, just being that close to the cage just definitely makes it tough to be able to see all the action. I got another question for you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say.
The only last thing I was going to say about Rumble and Hell in a Cell being similar is the closer you are to the Rumble, you're only seeing the people literally in front of you that are getting tossed out. You have no idea why someone is cheering, or even if you have an obstructed view for who's coming down the ramp next. That can be a huge factor in whether you enjoyed that spot or not in the night. So I think, you know, for those big events, your bird's eye view approach is gonna pay off in the long run.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it definitely matters where you sit for shows like that, especially the Rumble. So my next question for you, your match of the year so far, and it's September as we record this, your match of the year so far and segment of the year so far, if any come to mind immediately.
Okay, match of the year so far, I really feel like it comes down to AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens.
Really? From what pay-per-view?
Oh, God, well, no, AJ was up against... this was earlier on in the year, I believe. I can't remember the pay-per-view it was on either. Was it Backlash?
Backlash might have. Yeah, maybe it was Backlash, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking Backlash. I mean, I think AJ Styles has been the standout, like, standard for an amazing match, every single match that he's been in this year so far. Even coming up at the Hell in a Cell, I think it's going to be a huge opportunity for AJ Styles to continue standing out. He's definitely a bit older, so he's not getting that type of spotlight that maybe some of the younger guys are getting a little bit more of right now. But I think that over time he's going to be proven to be the next kind of Chris Jericho.
Oh, yeah, definitely. With how versatile he is, and they're kind of relying on him to be their most valuable player on SmackDown and working with guys like Owens and Corbin and even Ty Dillinger. I thought they had a great match a few weeks ago. AJ and Owens is a great pick. What about segment of the year? Anyone's come to mind?
Now, when you say segment, are we talking promos? Are we just talking, you know, like back and forth, like series of matches?
Anything but a match. Yeah, I guess it could even be a backstage segment. Like, I would say, for like, this is what I mean as a segment. Like, for what I would say, Festival of Friendship. Like, that's what I would constitute as a segment.
Okay, yeah, okay, I get you. So, maybe a little bit of an unpopular opinion, because we don't exactly know 100% where it's going, but I think Dolph Ziggler's commentary recently on wrestling in general, pointing out the spectacle of entrances being so much more favored, and you can see this echoed in NXT, you can see this echoed on even some segments from the now defunct Tough Enough, of them really emphasizing this impression that you need to make when you pop out, and it needs to be bold, and it needs to be flashy and gimmicky, versus what really goes on in the ring where the work's really being done, you know? And I think it's not pulled off to a creative degree that I think it would make Dolph Ziggler look a little bit better, but I think his message is a little bit more challenging to see on TV than what I've seen in previous months and years even of the WWE being self-critical of itself and allowing someone to come out there and expose a piece of entertainment and flash that they really work hard at bringing, but with the removal of pyrotechnics from live events, with the general focus and use, no more sets, anything, like, obviously we've been talking about that for years, but, you know, the fact that it's all video driven, the fact that it's all lighting, grid driven and things like that, I think Dolph Ziggler's making an interesting point that you might be the best wrestler in the world, and he's definitely sending a message to anyone on the indies. You could be the flashiest, coolest wrestler in the world, but if you come to the WWE and you can't make your bright lights sizzle pop when you come out, then you're probably not going to have much of a spot, you know?
Yeah,
and then you got to keep working hard and hard and hard. Like Ty Dillinger, he's got a decently flashy intro, and he's definitely got the crowd support. But once he gets in the ring, it's like you don't know if he's going to be back in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so inconsistency with guys like that. But yeah, you make a great point that all the flash, you don't know if he'll be back the very next week. But I think Ziggler makes a good point with his promos that go beyond just what he's saying on SmackDown. It's kind of the company poking fun at itself. But that's an interesting take. I didn't really think about that. But that's been kind of going on recently on SmackDown. Before we let you go, Tom, we'll talk more in depth at some other point. I'm sure very point in the near future.
Yes.
I gotta pick your brain, brother. I know we can go on for hours about this stuff. But what have just been your general thoughts on the WWE product over the last couple of months?
So, over the last couple of months, I have seen them, much like with the Dolph Ziggler helmet, much like seeing Vince McMahon confront Kevin Owens. I feel like they are trying to be a little bit more self-critical, a little more self-aware of exposing some of the challenges that they have right now, either whether it be because of injury and people moving out, or people like John Cena becoming, moving on to the next phase of their WWE tenure. Some of these bigger names they're realizing aren't as big as they would have hoped.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that they have competition in Ring of Honor from a business point of view, but from a PR and kind of internet point of view, they definitely have to stay current. And I think that that's why you see Adam Cole in NXT. And, like a lot of those guys said, I don't want to take an NXT position, but hey, if they're throwing the right kind of offer at you and moving you into the product and into the process, it's worked so well for AJ, it's worked so well for Shinsuke, for Finn Balor, like across the board. But their names alone are not carrying that product necessarily forward. So I think that it's about getting as much fresh talent to relaunch the brand again, which they're always fond of doing. And I feel like this is very much a research and development phase for WWE right now. That's why Dolph Ziggler's going out there and kind of exposing this old guard of what people would do. And even making a commentary that, like, hey, you've always asked Cena to turn heel. That hasn't happened. You always want Reigns to turn heel, and he's kind of just an amalgamous in-betweener. You've always wanted Dolph Ziggler to drop the here to show the world, show off gimmicky stuff. And he's probably not. He's probably just going to go back to doing that. Because I think his point and the WWE's point is that, the more changes we make, the less happy the internet response is. But the live audience is still having such a great time, or it would be, or perceptually would be. But I think they're starting to see less people come out to the shows because the shows are predictable. There's less excitement at the shows because they've limited the use of pyrotechnics and other kind of what I will call circus-related instruments that make it a little bit larger than just a TV show about wrestling and things like that. So I think right now the WWE is healthy. They're putting on, like, I thought No Mercy was dynamite. What a great pay-per-view. Like that, there was very little for me to find fault with in that whole show and that lineup. I think Brock and Braun could have gone on a little bit longer.
Yeah, I agree.
Those guys don't exactly have the endurance of some of the smaller guys and things like that. But I was damn impressed with Roman Reigns and John Cena, and I think that everything that and even Enzo shocking me with a win over Neville, which I don't even know how is possible. But
yeah, right.
They're still doing things that shock me. They're still doing things that, no matter how far away I feel pushed at times by some of their decisions, they still create and have this talent that can create something so unique once a month, twice a month on some of their big shows that it makes watching every single show very worth it and still has that tie-in. So I think if they just continue to focus on tying everything together, having Vince McMahon appear periodically to really set something up as like being legitimately bad. Kevin Owens is legitimately a bad man. Those are the types of things that reset the balances of like, well, why is KO a heel? Just because he says mean things? No. Like, you can point back to that forever now. It's like you're a made heel. You know, and the fact that, you know, Jericho could return at any point in time, and there's built-in heat there. The fact that they keep Sami Zayn alive in that picture. The fact that, you know, they allow Daniel Bryan to say kind of whatever he wants on the internet and whatever he wants to do when he goes out to the ring. There's no love lost for Bryan. He might come back to wrestle. He might never come back to wrestle, but he's never lost that presence. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's something unique to the WWE that you can't find necessarily everywhere. You know, so it's still, I still think WWE is an exciting product. I think it's in a trial phase of finding out what it wants to be next.
Yeah, definitely. It's in a rebuilding phase right now. And I think people forget that no matter how formulaic the shows can be from week to week, that they always deliver when it matters most. It's not that they're not capable of creating big moments and great shows, because like you said, No Mercy was a very, very good show last Sunday, and they can still deliver on the big stages. But absolutely, it's funny that you mentioned Adam Cole, because literally, I think it was maybe 4 or 5 days ago. I think it was last week, last Thursday. So RJ and I, at the last minute, we ended up going to the Lowell show. They had an NXT house show at the same auditorium that we went to Ring of Honor last year, almost exactly a year ago.
I love it.
And Adam Cole was there, and I'm like, it brought back memories of when we went to Ring of Honor, that same place. And Adam Cole's in NXT, and we got to see him as Ring of Honor World Champion of the show that we went to, and it was a great time. I was like, damn, that was so much fucking fun. So we definitely got to do that at some point in the future.
Unbelievable. I mean, like, to see him in the same building must really solidify his like class stature as like a professional, no matter what company he's working for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the WWE clearly respects that building as a venue where like real wrestling happens. They've made significant title changes, and you were there for some of them at that Lowell auditorium. You know, and it's starting to become the Massachusetts staple for house shows and big changes. To see Adam Cole on the WWE program out of nowhere, that's exactly the kind of stuff that makes NXT and the WWE house shows really the real, true WWE wrestling experience.
Absolutely. They're always enjoyable. That was no exception. But before I let you go, Tommy, one person just sent in a question on the live chat. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time? I think I know the answer to this, but they want to know the answer too.
Oh,
I know it's a tough question.
My favorite wrestler of all time. It's definitely going to come down between Chris Jericho at this point. Well, maybe this might be a bit of shock to you because I don't really mention him too often, but maybe Eddie Guerrero.
No, I don't think I've ever heard you say that. That's a good one, but I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
We don't talk about Eddie too much because by the time he hit the Latino heat phase of his career and was really starting to get into championship mode, he was very much not the Eddie that I had come to grow up and love. Yeah. But seeing him thrive in the WWE was like a dream come true because, you know, as a Spanish man myself, I don't think I had too many like go-to examples of like people that represented, you know, my culture on television, and seeing him become champion was definitely a point of pride, even if I didn't like him because he was a heel at the time. But there's nothing that I can really take away from the trio of Eddie, Dean Malenko, and Chris Jericho. They moved from WCW, some ECW to the WWE and became the show. I think between the three of them, Chris Jericho is going to be my favorite for all time.
Yeah, Bolt, you can't go wrong with either choice, either Eddie Guerrero or Chris Jericho, two of the GOATs in our industry. I was at like not a house show, but there was some indie show, actually in New York a few months ago. It was a Northeast Wrestling show, and Jericho was there doing a book signing. So I got to meet him for the first time ever. He's awesome.
That's incredible and fitting for everything I've ever heard about people meeting Chris Jericho. I mean, he is, as I have said in the past, he is the Orson Welles of professional wrestling, the solid gold standard for literally not only making wrestling fun, but making wrestling dangerous, making wrestling, you know, feel like it's on the cutting edge, making wrestling humorous, you know, any of the things that they could possibly throw at this guy, he is not only doing, but also working out deals with WWE that seemingly no one else can get. You know, he can go on tour with his band, pop in for a show, pop out, and then come back and say, hey, let's just see how long we want to work together. Like, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
And I think you only get a deal like that when you are the gold standard of professional wrestling. So.
Like you said, Orson Welles of pro wrestling, I think is a great way to talk about Chris Jericho, to describe Chris Jericho. Speaking of Jericho, dude.
At this point.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I said at this point, you know, like he definitely feels like he's in the director's chair, you know, like orchestrating whatever timeline he wants to see. And I just find it fascinating that he continues to push himself and perform like he did 10, 15 years ago.
I know, he can still perform at the same level. Yeah, promo-wise and ring-wise, it's great. He just comes in and does what he wants. Came in for a random match, a triple threat on SmackDown. It was the best thing on the entire show. It's like, the guy is still very much capable of creating moments and awesome matches. He's just great.
And catchphrases. I mean, he took a clipboard and made it a bigger character than most of 205 Live.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. It was so fun.
Well, I got one plug for you.
Go right ahead, brother.
Before we sign off or anything else. But coming up, this upcoming Wednesday, October 4th at Kamikaze in Somerville, Massachusetts, I will be hosting from 5 to 7 the former 3-time women's champion and 2-time Divas champion. Who is it?
3-time women's champion, 2 times Divas champion.
No, and let me phrase it so you can narrow it down a little bit more. This is the original women's championship belt.
Let me see. Don't tell me this is gonna bother me until I figure it out. Oh wait, it's not Melina, is it?
It's Melina.
It is Melina. Oh shit, dude, that's crazy.
Melina will be appearing at Kamikaze Comics in beautiful Davis Square, Somerville, Massachusetts, Wednesday, October 4th, from 5 to 7, free to attend. She has been fantastic to communicate with this whole time, and literally just came out of the blue. She's been doing a lot of Comic-Con circuits, going to like Wizard World, doing some other bigger cons, and in between, she's been visiting comic book stores just to kind of fill in the dates, and I thought that was super, super cool, and was very excited. So I'm hoping that this will lead to even more awesome talent coming into the shop. But to have a 5-time women's champion in the building, I think is a true honor. So
yeah, one of the best women's wrestlers of her era, of that time. So wow, that's a great get, dude. Congrats, that's awesome.
No, I mean, so her matches against Natalya were like literally. So I was like, why can't the whole roster be doing this? 'Cause this is literally where it's at.
Wow, that's awesome. I got to make it to Kamikaze one of these days. Actually, it's so funny that you say that. I'm so mad it's on Wednesday because I'll be there. I'll be in Massachusetts again on Thursday because Fozzie's having a concert and I'll be going with one of my friends. And it's I think it's in Worcester, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. But dang it, I wish it was that same day because I've definitely gone. But yeah, Fozzie's having a concert next week though.
Oh, who is Fozzie?
Fozzie's Jericho, yeah. Jericho's going to be in the area next week, next Thursday, I think.
Yeah, they must be playing at the Palladium.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So, that's unbelievably cool. I would totally see Fozzie.
Yeah, I've never seen Fozzie up to this point. They never come around the Northeast area, so it should be a good show.
It's another one of those things where it's just like, it's Jericho singing metal. How could that not be fun?
Yeah, right. And they're a great band to boot.
Yeah, man. No, have a blast at that. I would love to pick your brain about how Fozzie is because I've always wondered if that was worth going to or not.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I've actually, surprisingly enough, and this is going to shock you because I know you're huge into music, I've never been to a concert before. Never in my life. So this is going to be my first one. My first concert will be Fozzie.
That's the perfect introduction because in a lot of ways it's the same type of fun. So, having different acts, having different lineups, having a headliner, a lot of the same things are true of wrestling. So I think it really makes for a similar enough experience here. You're really going to dig it, man.
Definitely, yeah. It should be good. But not as good. One more time, G-Plug. Kamikaze next Wednesday, October 4th, like you said. You said 4 to 7. Is that correct? What's the timetable?
5
5 to 7.
5 to 7. 5 to 7. Check out Melina Kamikaze, Somerville, Massachusetts. It's going to be awesome. I wish I could be there for that. It sounds like such a blast. Again, dude, congrats. It's been so great talking to you again for the first time in a while, but we'll definitely talk again soon.
Yeah, I can't wait, brother. All right, you guys be good, and I'm too sweet you from a distance, dude. Miss you.
Sounds good, brother. Miss you. Too sweet, and I'll catch you down the road.
Later, brother. Bye.
See you, dude. Wow, big thanks to Tommy for coming on the show. That's awesome. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he's working right now, so I really appreciate him taking time out of his day to get on the show. That is freaking sweet. But yeah, thanks to everyone joining on the show so far. We got a couple people watching live, sending questions in the chat. Once again, let's tweet out the link to the video. We're about, oh man, it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock by this point. So I think we've been streaming for 2 hours, and they only announced I put the link on for you guys to start. We only really started around like 12:30. Or shortly before that. Let's see. The guests keep on coming. Join us now for episode 200 of #SGSM Live. And send in your questions in the chat. Paste the link. All right. I'll share it on Facebook too. Why not? I'll share it on Facebook before we continue going on. So far, if you guys are only tuning in now for the past hour and a half, like I said, it started 2 hours ago, but I've only been streaming. I've only really started the show only an hour and a half ago, which is one of the longer #AskGSM. So thank you for those of you that have been watching since the start, or even if you're just tuning in now. We've had Jason now was the first guest. RJ, my girlfriend Haley, and now Tom. For the Haley was on once, Tom was on once, Jason's been on like 5 or 6 times, and RJ's been on a bunch of times too. So great to have them all here on the show. Noah didn't pick up. I really hope he calls me back before I finish up. That'd be cool to have him on. One more phone call left to make before we call it a day here, and I still have a bunch of questions to answer. I mean, we've already answered a bunch of these questions. For Match of the Year, Segment of the Year, we already asked Tom, but for me, I say Tyler Bate Pete Dunne from Takeover, what was it, Chicago, back in May. That's my personal Match of the Year so far. And segment, like I said to Tom, Festival of Friendship is still my favorite and best segment of the year for WWE, or just in general, from what I've seen anyway. And that was back in February. Scarlet One, have you heard about the Twitter word limit being altered from 280, or rather from like 140 to like, you said from 280 to 160. I think it's like 140 or no, I think I messed up your question. It's like 140 to now 280. Yeah, we already talked about that. I've already ranted about it a bunch. I don't have it yet. Twitter, get on that shit. Like, get on my Twitter time, whatever. Someone just sent me an inbox on Facebook saying, when did WWE sign Oney Larkin? Who the hell is that guy? Sorry, JJ Peter. Yeah, no, I did hear about the Twitter word limit, like tweet limit, whatever, like last night. And I really need to get in on that because I could benefit the most from that, like more than anyone. So definitely hopefully I mean, some people already have it. Rusty already has the tweet limit. Like, where's mine? Like, I've been on Twitter for like freaking, Average Grunt, dude. What's going on? Thanks for joining the show. I haven't answered your question yet, so thanks for tuning in. Stick around because I'll answer your question next. I'll answer your question in a couple seconds. But yeah, like I've been on Twitter since like 2009. Like, where is my 280 time limit or tweet limit, whatever? #AskJSM episode 200 is live. I'm sharing this to Facebook, my Facebook page to be more exact. The guests keep on coming. Send in your questions in the live chat and receive a shout out. Put that on the Facebook. Yeah, like a bunch of these questions I've already answered anyway, like the whole Neville thing. A lot of you guys asked about Neville. I already answered that a bunch of times here on the show. There was one other, like someone said, I think it was Scarlett too, like, did you find being a wrestling fan worthwhile? I absolutely do. I think Tom even said that in his answer, that, no matter, the shows, they're formulaic and whatnot, but, wrestling is the be-all, end-all for me, so obviously it's always worthwhile no matter what. So you already kind of answered that. I got this question a lot. I'll answer the hashtag YesGSM Origins question. I mean, a bunch of you asked about that, and I'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But while Average Grunt is here, I will answer his question that he sent in last night. He's always got great questions. He's been supporting the show. Man, I've been following him for at least 4 or 5 years. Closing in on 5 years. That's crazy. So I'll answer his question. I'm just looking at the document as we speak, mate. That was an awful accent. So here we go. At the Average Grunts question from Twitter. Can you rank these 20th annual pay-per-views from worst to best? I'm just making sure no one's calling me, like if it's Noah or something. WrestleMania 20, Survivor Series 2006, Royal Rumble 2007, and SummerSlam 2007. That's a great question. I had to kind of jog my memory what was even at Survivor Series to answer that because I don't remember. WrestleMania 20 takes the cake. I know you were waiting for me to say that because you love WrestleMania 20. I think Rusty said in the live chat earlier that he was there at that show. I think that's what he said, or maybe it was another WrestleMania. But no, WrestleMania 20 was lit. WrestleMania 20 was fucking great. Even though it was super long, it was an awesome show. So yeah, I'm gonna put WrestleMania 20 head over heels. Great show. That's number 1 as a 20th annual show. Rumble 07 was also a damn good show. I don't really remember the undercard aside from like the Hardy Boys versus Eminem, which was a good match. Cena and Umaga was really, really good. That was a great last man standing match for the WWE titles. That was an awesome match. And then the Rumble match was also great. That was the year that Taker and Michaels went till the end for like 10, 15 minutes or whatever it was. So that was a really good show. That comes in at number 2. Number 3, Survivor Series 06. Between that and SummerSlam sucked. SummerSlam 07 sucked. I talked about that before. That was the year we had like Batista and Great Khali. Cena and Orton was all right, but who cares, you know? I don't even remember what else happened to that show. Triple H squashed King Booker. Like, that show is not good at all. Survivor Series 06 wasn't a great show, but it had a couple moments. There was a couple more. You guys sent in a couple more questions in the chat. I think it was Jonathan. He sent in another question. So I'll get to that in a second. Someone just sent me a friend request. I don't even know who the hell that person is. I'll close Facebook here. Anyway, what was I even saying? Oh yeah, Survivor Series 06. Yeah, that was the year that we had like Team DX versus Team Rated RKO. That was a cool, fun match. Was that the year we had the triple threat with Booker, Big Show, and Cena? I think that was Taboo. I'm pretty sure that was Taboo. But I just remember looking at the card last night. It wasn't too bad. SummerSlam was pretty bad. So again, best to worst. WrestleMania 20, Rumble 07, Survivor Series 06, SummerSlam 07. That's what I would put for the list. I think I said that right. Mania 20, Rumble 07, Survivor Series 06, SummerSlam 07. Yeah. Neville leaves the Cruiserweight division. How high is the ceiling as a heel on Raw? From Brad. I think he can go pretty high. Maybe not WWE champion, but the guy's awesome. Like, he can go higher than he was before. I know he was a good jobber before as a babyface, but as a babyface, he was bland as hell. So as a heel, he could be pretty damn good. So I'm going to put him on the list. Just make sure my camera's focusing in here. I think it's all right. If there's any, like, audio issues, just let me know in the chat, by the way. Average Grunt said 25 myself. WrestleMania 20 was my first WrestleMania. Okay. Great Khali, the walking Easter Island statue. Absolutely, yeah. Batista Booker was the Survivor Series 06. Thanks, Jonathan. Yes, that's what it was. That was a good match. I've seen that before on Batista's DVD. I watched the show, but I completely forgot about it. But yeah, with Neville, yeah, I think he can go pretty high, at least mid-card, if not upper mid-card. The guy's a great wrestler now that he has the character. The sky's the limit. Okay, maybe not world champion, but I think he can go pretty high. A lot higher than he was before when he was a babyface. Will you be able to buy Enzo as a credible Cruiserweight champion now that he's turned heel? He's better as a heel than as a babyface, but the Cruiserweight division is still a joke. I mean, they're making the most of it, which is good, but the guy still sucks in the ring, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. Already talked about Cena and Rock with RJ. I already answered a lot of these questions. I'll answer Jonathan's question real quick from the chat. Let's see. Oh, damn. Keeps on. You guys are sending a lot of comments. I appreciate that. Could we see a max exodus in 2018 or 2019 of talents that aren't being used well at all? You said 2018 or 2019. It could happen before the end of the year. It could happen on Friday for all we know. That's from Jonathan, by the way. We get those every once in a while, like with like the Black Fridays, as they're called. We got one in 2016, like when Alex Riley got cut, Zip Coulter, Hornswoggle, Cameron, Damian Sandow, Wade Barrett, and a bunch of others. That was a pretty big day for releases. We haven't had one since, I don't think. They haven't released many people. They like to hoard talent. I think hoard talent would be the right way to put it. They don't like to really release people. Jack Swagger, they had not done anything with in years. Yet it took him to quit for them to let him go. It's like, why would they ever release them like 2-3 years ago? I don't know. They just wanted to hold on to him for whatever reason. But, yeah, I mean, we could see one fairly soon. I mean, talent they're not doing anything with. I mean, there's a long list. Like Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. I love Harper. I don't want to see him go, but he hasn't been on TV in months. Ziggler's another one. I know he's on TV and doing stuff now. I think, Tom hit the nail right on the head with how they're using him. It's kind of cool, but it's hard for me to care about the guy. Him and Rude, though, should be good, but I really hope Ziggler just goes to New Japan or Ring of Honor or something like that. There's a bunch of others, like Graham Metalik, I think is great, but they're not really using too much of him as of late. Lince Dorado, who cares? I mean, the guy's barely on the show, Yeah, but we could see a bunch of those mass exits. We could see a bunch of one. We could see another one, I would assume, pretty soon, before the end of the year. I'll answer, the Bullet Club invasion thing I already kind of talked about earlier, so I won't answer that. Rusty asked that, but I already answered that from someone else. Let's see. Did you ever think you would get to 200 episodes and how it has come so far in the last 2 years? And I was also asked, that was from Rusty, and I think it was maybe someone else asked about hashtag. I think it was Captain Sunshine, maybe? I don't know if it was Captain Sunshine. It was someone like that. Are Captain Sunshine's questions even on the show? I don't think I put her questions on the show. What the fuck? Or Brandon's. I didn't put him on the chat. God damn it. I'll have to go back and check him out. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of you guys asked about that hashtag, like why I started doing it. There is a bunch of, like, if you watch the old Wrestle Rant videos I did back in, like, I don't know, 2011, 2012, like, I was doing Q&As even then. I was doing Q&As and answering your questions, and I would only get a couple questions. So I liked the idea of answering questions from Twitter and stuff, and I started doing it then. So then I started the show, I think the first week of July of 2013, and I was thinking, I like doing Q&As, I should do a whole Q&A show. And at that point, I had strikes on my account, so I couldn't do videos it was a simple fix, and I ended up fixing it by, like, February of the following year in 2014. But I couldn't do videos before that for 4 or 5 years, I couldn't do videos that were over 15 minutes long. So I had to do hashtag in 15 minutes or less. I had to do Wrestle Rant videos in 15 minutes or less. It was I had to rush a lot of questions. And I got a bunch of questions for those early episodes, and you can watch them yourself. They're all in the playlist and stuff. You can watch them for yourselves. But, I mean, I don't like watching old videos back of mine, because I just don't like, I don't even like watching these videos back. But especially those, because that was years ago, and I don't know. I just don't like the way I talk and stuff, but, even now. But, yeah, no, it's not really an interesting answer. I mean, I just like to do Q&As, and people started sending in questions, and the show caught fire. The 10-minute episodes turned into a half hour, then 45 minutes, then an hour, and sometimes an hour and a half. Today's episode has been going for pretty much over 2 hours. I think we're going to crack, like, the longest episode ever if we haven't already, which is fitting for 200. But people just kept on sending in questions. I mean, I was only going to do it for as long as people send in questions, and you guys continue to send in questions every single week. And I get like 2-3 pages, and sometimes it's long, but I have a lot of fun doing it. So that's why I've done it for as long as I have. But the reason I started doing it was because I like to answer questions. Like, people actually care about what I think. Holy shit, that's awesome. And sometimes people do it just to get their question answered, or they only check out their question and they want to shout out. Dude, that's fine. If you're watching the show at all, I appreciate it, and thank you so much. But and it's not a huge thing, but only has this small cult following amongst you guys that have watched the show every week, and it's usually the same people sending in questions, but still, I appreciate it. But yeah, no, so I just love doing the show, and it's been over 4.5 years. I'll continue to do it until people stop sending in questions, which I hope never happens. But yeah, or I just don't have time to do it. We started doing it on Mondays. They moved it to Wednesday earlier this year, just because it was easier for me, and it was after Raw and after SmackDown and stuff. And we've had on a lot of great guests, and it's been a lot of fun. So thanks to John, Tom, RJ, Jason, even Haley and Noah, who've only made one appearance, but they've all been great, and I've had, a lot of fun having them here on the show. But, yeah, and I also would do the videos. I did the videos for a long time. It's just a lot easier to do audio, which a lot of people ask me about. Like, they ask me, why did you stop doing, the videos? And I'm doing one now just because it's live. But, like, why did you stop doing that? Just because it's easier. It takes longer to render. There's really no big reason. It's just because it takes the videos take longer to render if they're videos as opposed to just audio, which is why I've been doing audio for the last year or two now. So that's not probably going to change going forward. This is only a one-time thing to do it live. Maybe again we'll do it again live in the future. But face to face though, I won't be doing that every time going forward. There was something else I was going to say too. There was a stretch of time where I wasn't doing the show, like I talked about earlier when I was off Twitter, and it was kind of harder to get questions through Facebook and stuff. From August to maybe January, I didn't do the show. But we picked right back up where we started, from where we left off in January, February of 2014, and it was great, and we've been doing it nonstop ever since. There have been some times where I couldn't get an episode up on time, like when my computer died out. I think you guys might remember that, for those of you that have been watching for the past 2 years. My computer just shit the bed one day, and it was already kind of on the downslope at that point. It was going downhill pretty quickly. I had that laptop for close to 4 years, and my laptop shit out just instantly. I actually recorded an episode of Hashtag, and it was right after episode 100, believe it or not. So episode 100 was pretty big too, and so I had done the episode 101. And I took the episode off the hard drive, and my computer shit out, and I couldn't edit it because all the files were still on my laptop, even though I tried to export it. It didn't work. So we went 3 weeks with that episode. And I went 2.5 weeks without my laptop, which was tough, just because I'm always using my laptop to write and stuff like that. So it was really tough. And I would use the school computers, but I would have to go back and forth. Literally, I was leaving the computer library, the 24/7 where the computers were open. I was there till 1 or 2 in the morning some days, working on stuff, posting stuff, and I couldn't do videos. I was just posting videos, whatever was in my, whatever I had saved to my account that I hadn't posted yet. So it was tough. But other than that, I think it's been pretty consistent for Hashtag. Sometimes it goes up a day later because I'm busy. But beyond that, it's gone up, I think, every week since then. So again, I appreciate you guys' support of the show. That's what keeps this show alive. Let's look back. I think someone sent in a question in the live chat, if I wasn't mistaken. Congratulations again on your 200th episode. Once again, I get a new phone and plan on calling on the show. Yes, Average Grunt will definitely get you on the show on Wrestle Rant Radio. Who are your current favorite tag teams, not just in WWE, from all companies? From Jonathan in the live chat. Current favorite tag teams. I think all my favorite tag teams are outside of WWE, to be honest with you. I love New Day, Usos, Ambrose and Rollins, Revival, Hardy Boys would be number one. But outside of WWE, there's a lot. Also including outside of NXT, because I like the Street Profits too quite a bit. Young Bucks I like. I know Jonathan's not a big Young Bucks fan. He hates the Young Bucks, so I know that answer is not going to please you. But I do like the Young Bucks. I like War Machine. They're good. Rusty Put, the Revival I love. Don't really watch much of New Japan, so I can't really say for them. Love Motor City Machine Guns. Big fan of them. Love the Briscoes. Big fan of them. Put them on the list. Impact. I like LAX. I like LAX a lot. They're probably the best team they have. Loved Beer Money. They're obviously not current, which was your question. That's about it for tag teams. The Kingdom, I also like, from Ring of Honor. They're from the Northeast wrestling scene. I met those guys years before they started doing the trio thing in Ring of Honor. But, yeah, those would probably be some of my favorite tag teams. Also from the live chat, let's see here. From Rusty. What's your favorite all-time moment in wrestling, or better, what made you a fan? Favorite all-time moment that it's hard to say something that I wasn't a fan for. So, what was your favorite all-time moment in wrestling? At least when CM Punk won the championship, I wasn't there, but it was my favorite match, and probably still is my favorite match. It's up there with Bayley and Banks. But yeah, when Punk won the WWE title, Money in the Bank 2011, that's up there as one of my favorite moments. The pipe bomb, when he came back on Raw, right after that, when Brock Lesnar came back. In 2012, that would be up on the list. So those are some of my favorite all-time moments. Something happened recently that would be on the list. I was like, oh my god. I was thinking about that recently. What happened like this year? Goldberg's return was cool. Like, I love returns. Hardy Boys coming back would probably be my favorite moment of all time. Like, no joke. That might sound pretty ridiculous. But I was there, and I love the Hardy Boys, and I've been waiting for them to come back for years now. So, probably the Hardy Boys coming back at WrestleMania. And what made me a fan? William Regal. I've said this story a million times, but if you don't know it, real quickly, I used to watch USA Network all the time with my grandfather, and I got tuned into Raw. I got sucked into Raw like in late 07, but I never really tuned into the show all that much. I kind of fell out of it. And then when William Regal was GM around April, I saw this awesome promo for a match with Randy Orton that was happening on Raw in England. And I was like, holy shit, that's really cool. And I don't remember much about the show otherwise from when I first watched it. And now it's all on the network, which is great. But I was like, holy shit. Like, I need to watch this. And Regal, even though he lost, he got me hooked. Regal as a heel GM was awesome. And Regal in general is awesome. But I was like, wow, he's really, really cool. And yes, I agree, Jonathan. It's a shame that he wasn't WWE champion in 08 when he was white hot. I completely agree. But yeah, William Regal was the guy that got me into wrestling, has kept me into wrestling, and all the others that have come along, CM Punk. I know a lot of people aren't hot on CM Punk nowadays. But CM Punk kept me into wrestling. AJ Styles, Christian, so many others. The Miz, Zack Ryder, kind of weird picks, but they were among my favorites. But yeah, so definitely. I'm looking at other questions, but yeah, Regal got me into wrestling. That's pretty much where it starts and stops. Was with William Regal in 2008, and then once I started watching Regal segments, I stayed along. I came for Regal, stayed for everything else, and stayed for Regal and everything else. Oh, we just gotta start wrapping this up. It's over 2 hours long at this point. Looking at the questions, I gotta answer the questions from last week that I didn't get to. Yes, I will check out his work from 93, 94 through 98, by the way. Jonathan, I definitely will. I gotta watch more WCW. I really have to. And I haven't yet. But I definitely have to. I gotta make a few more phone calls before I wrap up, too. There is two phone calls I want to make. Let me see. But I do want to check out the YouTube questions from that Brandon and Captain Sunshine sent in. I thought I recorded them on the document. I guess I didn't. It's funny, in the recommended videos is this video. That's weird. Let's see. Brandon. So Captain Sunshine's questions. Should every crowd be a pro-Miz crowd? He's not a 5-star match generator, but the guy is better at mining something entertaining out of absolute garbage, and the way WWE is, we need guys like that. Yeah, Miz is awesome. Miz is great. I'll be writing a whole article about him this Sunday for Bleacher Report. But you're right, he's not a Matt Classic wrestler or anything like that, but the guy's really, really good. Every crowd should be a pro-Miz crowd. People got to respect how good this guy is. I mean, he's always been great, but people are finally starting to recognize it, which is even better. Ambrose Rollins versus Cesaro and Sheamus was the best match on No Mercy, as has been the case for most of WWE and NXT pay-per-views over the past year. It helps that Cesaro's teeth have gotten fucked up. Wait, what? I don't want wrestlers injured, but it adds urgency to makes them look gutsy. It's why people spend the 70s and 80s and most of the 90s cutting themselves to bloody death. Should we get more moments like that? No, we should not get more people getting their teeth lodged in their gums. But Cesaro's a madman, so more people putting their body on the line, not killing themselves. But like real moments like that, it adds to a match. That made the match better. Again, I don't want it to happen every match, but because it happens every so often, that's what made it special. So again, we don't really need more of that, but less is more. And if it happens every once in a while, maybe again, not that gruesome, but like blood, just something as simple as that, I think would be cool. Third question. Couldn't get into the Reigns Cena match. It was a 23-minute match that would have been better at 12. The crowd didn't like either guy, with Cena trying to clown Reigns into at least a not you heat. Cena clowning around in general, and the finisher spam overkill turned me off. So Cena's bizarre goodbye didn't help either. Goodbye until when? January? Yeah, you're right. He'll be gone for what, a few more months? He's not retired. Get over it, people. I liked Reigns and Cena. I thought it, for me, it reminded me greatly of what was it? Cena Batista from SummerSlam 08. I really liked that match. So, I like the match. I see what you're saying. Those are all valid arguments. I like the match a lot, but again, that's just me. Rusty said the finish was horrible. Yeah, one spear after 4 A's is kind of ridiculous. Who has the higher ceiling in WWE? This is quickly from Jonathan. Definitely Gable. I know Jordan's got more opportunities, but the guy bores me to tears. I know there's an entertaining performer in there somewhere, but so far the guy has just not done nothing for me. Gable is way more entertaining. I was watching Chad Gable segments before I started this video, and the guy's so freaking entertaining. Chad Gable is awesome. I'll finish up Captain Sunshine's questions before we go further. Before I tweet out the link to the video. Let's see. With Booker T's commentary recently, he was incoherently or nonchalantly, shit-talking Matt Hardy for being old and can't be a singles competitor anymore. He doesn't believe in Jason Jordan either, and he called all of Apollo Crews' moves smoke and mirrors. Is Booker T getting braver about working in the criticisms he sincerely believes in? No, he's trying to be a heel commentator. Since Corey Graves went to SmackDown, they need a heel commentator, so they're having him shit-talk all the baby faces. Really not much more to it than that. I mean, Corey Graves just went to SmackDown, so you said recently, which is why he's only been a heel recently. So I guess they feel they feel the need to have a heel commentator, which is why they've been having Booker T act as a heel. Simple as that. Brandon's got a couple good questions. His 2 questions are really good. They're dream match scenarios. But before we go any further, I do want to make one quick call to someone who's wanted to. He said he would be on the show. He hasn't been on the show before, and I can't put him on speaker for the first part of it because it does reveal where I work, and Jason does not want that on the video. We'll give him a call real quick, and I'll ask him one really, really quick question because obviously he is working. Let's see. Hey, this is Graham. Is this Oz? What's going on, dude? Is Nick Torres there by any chance? Yeah, no worries. Thanks, man. I hope he picks up. He definitely will. He's wanted to be on the show for a while.
Hello?
Nick, what's going on, dude? It's Graham.
Graham Central Station, what's happening, brother?
Dude, I'm recording the show right now. You are live on the air as we speak.
Oh, shoot. What's happening, everybody? Hello.
I just want to...
Hello, everyone.
I just want to get your quick thoughts. I said I would get you on the show, so I want to ask you one quick question.
Go ahead.
So, you saw the Cena and Reigns promo from a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you saw the result. They had a match on Sunday. And between the two, who would you rather see win? Who are you a bigger fan of, in your opinion, from what you have seen? John Cena or Roman Reigns?
Okay, well, from the little promo that I saw, I was feeling John Cena, right?
Okay.
I felt like John Cena delivered his lines well. I felt like he was delivering the backlash well. And then Roman Reigns came along and said a little good snippets right back to him. And I was like, ooh, okay, hold on, this is going to be a good match, right? So, I don't know. Like, I've liked John Cena.
Okay.
Like, The Marine is probably his best movie that he's ever done. So, I would normally say John Cena, but I would say Roman Reigns has that 100%.
Yeah, he's good. He's on his way, but Cena's already there. Any other John Cena movies that you like while we're on the topic? Any John Cena movies you like other than The Marine?
Other movies from John Cena?
Yeah.
No.
That's a good enough answer.
Just The Marine.
Just The Marine. I think that was his first movie too, so it all went downhill from there.
Yeah, exactly. All of it. I mean, there was the other one. I can't remember the other one. I just remember there was a scene where there was like a pool on a rooftop.
Oh, 12 rounds. 12 rounds.
Yeah, that one was good too.
That one was pretty good. That was the only... I think that was the last movie of his that made theaters that wasn't, like, terrible. I mean, he was in Trainwreck, but for, like, 10 seconds, so it doesn't really count.
Oh, that's right, Trainwreck. I forgot about that. He was good in Trainwreck too, but he was being a little nasty.
Yeah, he was being a little nasty enough. Final question.
He made me feel self-conscious about myself because when he had his shirt off, I was like, good Lord, like,
Right?
this man is chiseled by the gods, by Zeus himself.
Oh, God, you're not alone there. Final question for you.
Yep.
Any rock movies that you like? Any Dwayne Johnson movies that you enjoy?
Ooh, The Rock. Oh, man. I love Walking Tall. That's a classic.
Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah. What's a good one that I watch his show Ballers. That one's good.
Oh, yeah, that show's really, really good. Yep.
Yeah. Damn, there's another one too that I really. The Tooth. Is it the Tooth Fairy?
Oh, you like the Tooth Fairy? Oh, no, that's not what I like to hear.
Yeah, I like the Tooth Fairy, and then I like Game Plan too. Game Plan was good.
Game Plan was it was one of the better kids movies that he did. I didn't see Race to Witch Mountain, but Game Plan was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were in the minority that liked San Andreas too. Did you not like that either, or did you not even see it?
San Andreas.
What was that?
I didn't get to see San Andreas.
Oh, I thought you said you saw San Andreas. Maybe that's Jason, because he shits on everything that he.
No,
that
yeah,
he's in.
Jason shits on that movie like it's fucking the worst movie ever made in America.
Alexander Daddario is hot though, so that at least that movie has that going for it.
Oh yes, exactly.
All right, sir. Thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate it. And any
All right,
final
man.
thoughts before I let you go?
Right now, and look at it real quick, even though I shouldn't be doing that because work.
Sounds good, dude. Any
right,
final
man.
thoughts before I let you go? Anything you'd like to say to the people?
Hello everybody. My name is Nick. Graham's a great guy. His name's Graham Central Station. Everybody can just go by that from now on. If you just can type in the comments real quick, Graham Central Station. At Nick the Hulk. That's my Twitter handle, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, catch me on Twitter.
Sounds good, sir. I'll definitely plug your Twitter machine. We'll get that Graham Central Station trending on the Twitter. And again, thanks, dude. I appreciate your time. I know you're at work right now.
How many people you got watching right now, Graham?
Only a handful. It's up to like 8 or 9 right now. It took me like a half an hour to get the stream ready, so it took forever. But we finally got it working though.
Screw it. Who cares as long as people's watching, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's all we got, and I'm sure it'll get more videos once it gets archived, which you told me about. So you can check out yourself on the show. It's at like the 2-hour mark. So if you watch the video later, that's where you are.
Holy shit! You've been doing this for 2 hours now?
I've been doing it since like 12:30. Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. So if you check it out, that's
bro.
where you are.
Well, enjoy the rest of your YouTube live time. I'll watch you later on, bro.
Thanks a lot, sir. I appreciate it. Have a great day, and I'll catch you on the road.
No problemo. See you later, dude.
See you, brother.
Peace.
That's Nick. Nick is fucking awesome. Again, check out his Twitter, at Nick the Hulk. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You know what? It's going to bother me if I don't check it out right now. And he doesn't even watch wrestling. He like watches it sometimes, but I told him I would get him on the show, so I had to get him on the show. There's still one more phone call I got to make. I haven't heard back from Noah at all, which is fine. Okay, so Nick's Twitter, definitely follow him. It is at NickTheHulk93. So follow Nick the Hulk. He is awesome. Let me see. Wait. I'm checking out Nick's Twitter right now. 1 second. Yeah, definitely check out Nick's Twitter. He's fucking awesome. So follow him on Twitter, at NickTheHulk93. I'm just making sure I got it right. Oh, man. He's hilarious. Yeah, we're just about done. I just got to make one more phone call to John Knapp. He has been on the show. Trainwreck 2, Electric Boogaloo. What? That's funny from Jonathan. Final Fantasy 2. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Let's call John Knapp. If he doesn't pick up, I will be very disappointed. But I know he won't. He said he's free on Wednesdays, but you never know with John. I haven't talked to him in a few weeks, but I'd be remiss. Start wrapping this up. I gotta take a shower. I gotta get going soon. He doesn't pick up, oh well, but let's see. Fingers crossed, people. Fingers crossed.
Please leave your message for 203.
Damn it. John Knapp, you are on hashtag episode 200 right now. Hashtag AskGSM. I know you're probably busy right now, which is why your phone's off. You're probably in class or something like that. But this voicemail is making the air. I'm not disappointed you're not on. I really wish you were. But again, I know you're busy. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I'll definitely talk to you soon, brother. If you hear this in the next like half hour, definitely give me a call back and I'll get you on the show because no one's been on the show more times than you have. You are the king of hashtag AskGSM, of hashtag AskTheBookings. But anyway, brother, I'll talk to you soon and I'll catch you on the road. Peace. Damn it, that sucks. I really thought we would get John on. Actually, I didn't. I figured he'd be busy. But anyway, let's finish up with the questions. We really got to wrap this up. I got to get going soon. But it was great to have Nick on, Tom, Haley, Jason, RJ. At least we got 5 guests on. That's pretty freaking cool. We'll finish off with Brandon's questions. I haven't gotten those. I'll answer those real quickly before I look at the rest of the document. If you have any questions you want me to answer, just be sure to drop them in the live chat real quick. And I'll also... Should I tweet it out one more time? I already tweeted it out. Fuck it. Let's tweet it out one more time. I'll tweet out the link to the show. Why not? Daniel Bryan. Also, Book Club is better than Bullet Club, just with less fans. He just tweeted that out. It's so funny. Episode 200 of hashtag SGSM. Wrapping up the live stream. Over 2 hours in length. Tune in before it wraps up. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Okay, Brandon's questions. Let's answer these real quick. What are your favorite WWE themes, past or present, for wrestlers that aren't super popular, or at least their entrance music never gets talked about all the time, such as Nakamura, Rude, AJ, etc.? Yeah, okay, they get talked about. I see what you mean. Examples in my case would be Cedric Alexander. Agreed. His theme is freaking fire. TJP. Alexander Black, I would say, gets talked about, so I won't say him, but he has pretty great music, too. TJP, Sheamus, pretty good. Peyton Royce, yeah, I know RJ would love that. Sanity's good. As for older examples, I really love The Brood. That's not an example. Everyone loves The Brood's music. That's not a good example. Everyone knows. That's like one of the greatest themes of all time. That should not count. New Age Outlaws, same thing. People know that. Razor Ramon, I could see. Dude Love. D'Lo Brown's was great. You're messing with the real deal now. The Rockers have a great theme. I know you older school fans will love that one. Love the Rockers. Ricky Ortiz, you probably have no idea who that is, but the best generic music I've ever heard. The Rally Up, Rally Tell, dude. Yeah, I love that theme. I'm going to wear my IC title because why the hell not? It's my show. Let's see. Ricky Ortiz, The Rockers, 2 of the weirdest comparisons of all time, but I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to look at I'm going to look at the roster right now and see if there's anything that comes up. Let's see. You're messing with the real deal now. Jason Jordan's, I think, is pretty good. I really like Jason Jordan's new theme. Street Profits is hot fire. I like a lot of the themes that CFO Money does. CFOs, whatever. But it's CFO Money, but I think it's CFOs anyway. Rollins I enjoy, but doesn't really count. Joe I love. Hardy Boys I love. Revivals is great. Alexa Bliss's is damn good. Paige's is good. Love Bailey's. There's a lot of good ones out there. Like Baron Corbin's old one. Don't know why he changed it, but oh well. KO's is great. Zayn's is great. I like Ryder's new one, but you never hear it because he's always with the Hype Bros. He's always with Mojo Rawley. American Alpha was good. No, there's a lot of good ones out there, but I guess those are a few examples. I don't know of any past examples. Mike Kanellis is good too, but the guy's never on TV, so you would never know. Yeah, Rusty just put that too. My favorite is Mike and Maria Kanellis's. Yeah, and Ortiz is related to Layla. You are correct. Bobby Rhodes is pretty damn good. Okay, let's finish up with this second question here. I won't call these dream matches, but have the following rank in order how much you would want to see these random yet intriguing matches. Reigns versus Okada, totally. I would definitely watch that. Reigns Okada would be great. Brett and Owen versus Edge and Christian versus KO and Zayn, absolutely. Canadian Dream, that sounds great. Punk and Nakamura would be pop fire. Oh, rank in order. Oh, I'm just saying this now, so I can't really rank them. I'm just gonna say if I would watch them. AJ Styles, Johnny Mundo would be pretty freaking cool. Briscoes, Usos would be the top of the list. Maybe not number 1, but close to being top because that would be amazing. Usos, Briscoes would be great. Rock and Orton, I'm shocked never happened one-on-one. I would definitely pay to see that. Omega, Macho Man, sure it'd be a great match, but it doesn't really sound like a money match on paper. Michael, Cesaro, same thing. I'm sure it'd be a great match, not really a money match on paper. Elimination Chamber with Strowman, Taker, Kane, Matanza, Lesnar, Mil Muertes would be pretty damn good. They'd probably be at the bottom of the list. And final one here. Money in the Bank ladder match with Rob Van Dam, Will Ospreay, Pete Dunne, Kalisto, and Angelico, Sabu, and the Young Bucks. Again, probably would be an amazing match. I don't know if I'd put it number 1. Maybe in the middle. But all those guys would thrive in Money in the Bank, including the ones that have already been in one, including Rob Van Dam. I think he's the only one. Yeah, I don't think Sabu was ever in one. Obviously not the others. Or Kalisto's never been in one either, I don't think. Anyway, let's get back to the document. We got to wrap up here. I'm really running late. Not really, but whatever. Since Ziggler, I said I was going to ask Noah this, but I never heard back from him, so I'll just answer it now. Since Ziggler has never had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, who would you want to see him face at WrestleMania if it was up to you? Again, I'd rather him leave and just go to Ring of Honor or New Japan, but if I had to choose, Ty Dillinger would be pretty cool in that a WrestleMania match. Or Shelton Benjamin, given their respective amateur wrestling backgrounds, could be pretty damn good. So I'm going to say either one of those, Benjamin or Dillinger, for Ziggler. I mean, I would say Daniel Bryan, but it's not realistic. Neither are the other two, but Daniel Bryan's retired. From Mark, real quick, if you ever did a WWE versus NXT pay-per-view, rank these matches from 1 to 5, with 1 being your, like the most desired, whatever. Let's see. So his matches were Jason Jordan versus Roderick Strong, Usos versus Authors of Pain, Ember Moon versus Alexa Bliss, Aleister Black versus Nakamura, and McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. So I'd put Jordan and Strong at number 5. It could be a great wrestling match, but Jordan just is nothing for me right now. As a match on paper, whatever, it could be a great match, but I just wouldn't really care too much for it. Ember Moon and Alexa Bliss could be a damn good women's feud. Again, not great, but it could be pretty good. Usos versus Authors of Pain, getting that Samoan vibe going on there. That could be great. 2, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre could be really good. The current Drew McIntyre, not McIntyre of like 5 years ago. And Aleister Black and Nakamura would be number 1. That would be a very hard-hitting physical match. So that would be my first match of all the ones that I would want to see. I think we answered everything else for the most part. Let me just double check on the document. But I think there's only 2 questions left that I haven't answered. Yeah. I'll answer these final 2 questions. And then we're going to be pretty much done. Unless you have any final live chat questions, which I haven't checked in a hot minute, but I will in a second. You know what? I'll answer the, I'll answer the Avengers one first. From Deshawn, what are your predictions, expectations for Avengers Infinity Part 1? Not wrestling related, but I love the Marvel movies, so if you have non-wrestling related questions like this, definitely ask them. I'm a big Marvel fan at this point. I don't read the comic books or anything, but I love the movies. I've been all caught up. I've loved the movies pretty much since Avengers 1. And I watched all the old ones from there. I think I had already seen those movies. I just didn't really pay too much attention to like the Avengers forming and whatever in the post-credit scenes. I don't really have much expectations. I'm just really looking forward to seeing the interaction between the Avengers and the Guardians, because I love Guardians. Guardians is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm looking forward to that. But who should win the match? Or no, that's another question. Stupid for me to say that. Predictions, expectations? I don't really have any, to be honest with you. I mean, I think someone's going to die. Probably, you know what? I'm going to say Chris Evans dies. I'm going to say Captain America dies. I should have asked Nick that question. Fuck, because he loves that shit. He loves Marvel movies. Damn it. Anyway. I'm going to say Chris Evans dies. I think his contract's coming up soon. They have the Winter Soldier. They have, Buckeye, or whatever his name is. So they might have him replace him. But I think Chris Evans, his contract's coming up soon, unless he re-signed or something. So I'm going to say he dies. It's going to be pretty big. Maybe not in Part 1, probably in Part 2. Part 1's more of a setup. But, yeah, that's my expectation for Avengers. And I'm just looking forward to it. The movie should be lit. I think it comes out in May of next year, I'm pretty sure. I hope, anyway. It looks great. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Blah, 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 blah. Final question. Also from Mark. Out of the various things you do, this is the fitting question to end on. Actually, before we answer that question, last call for live chat questions. Let's check out the live chat. Yeah, May 5th. Thanks, Rusty. Are you excited for Casey Katatana's to debut in NXT? She's the greatest. Oh, that chick. Yeah, the American Ninja Warrior chick. Yeah, it should be cool. I mean, I've seen like clips of her and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not like, oh my god, I can't wait. But she should be an interesting addition to the roster, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm just checking the live chat. 9 days before my birthday. Cool. Happy early birthday, Rusty. Yeah, but we'll end with this. That's it for the live chat questions. That's it for all the questions. But final question here. Out of all the various things that you do in your postings, the article writing, injection of inspiration, hashtag random video blogs, review the WWE Network content, and whatnot. If your dream job happened where you had to choose one of them to do full-time, what would you choose? I thought he was saying just the YouTube stuff, but he included the article writing too. It would have to be the article stuff because I just love to write. So if I had to choose one to do one full-time for my dream job, which would be the WWE, it would be writing articles. If not that, though, from YouTube of all the stuff I do in here between Wrestle Rant, watching old pay-per-views would be great for a full-time job and reviewing them. But I'd probably just doing this. I'm going to go full circle here, but say hashtag AskGSM, answering questions from you guys and doing that as a full-time job would be fucking great. If I got paid to do this, oh my god, I'd be living life. So, yeah, I would do hashtag. If not writing articles, I would definitely do hashtag as a full-time job because you guys are what has made this possible. All the people that called today, whether it was a first-time caller like Nick, who's awesome, or whether it was Haley, who appeared once, or Tom appeared once, or Jason and RJ, who have been on the show a bunch of times, and Noah was on last week, and John's been on more times than I can count. So thanks to all those people for calling in today and for their contributions to the show and their support of the channel over the past 4.5 years, if not 8 years that I've been doing this, but hashtag 4.5 years. But yeah, you guys are what have made this possible. I look forward to doing more of these in the future. Today we ran super long, and now that I have all the live stream stuff figured out, we will do it again in the future. We will do it again down the road, maybe for episode 300. Someone said looking forward to episode 500. That's a long ways away. I don't know when that's going to be, 20-something. But it might be a while down the road, but I'm looking forward to it. I will absolutely be around for episode 500. Trust me, I'm a very relentless person, so if I want to get to episode 500, trust me, I will stick around till 500, no matter when it is, even if it's 2025. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out the show every single week. If you want to send in questions going forward, I still have to figure out how to end the stream. I still don't know how to do that. Probably should get back into the, before I wrap up, I should probably get back into the studio for this video. So I know I could just press end and then 3-hour plus show. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was, dude. Definitely was. Live control room. Here we go. I think I could just press end here or on Wirecast or whatever the hell I'm using before we wrap up. It's the love I've ever known. Yeah, they have a great theme. So anyway, okay, I got the stop streaming thing here, so I can just press it when I'm done. But yeah, again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Anyone who would tune in, even if it was for like 5 seconds, and we don't have a bunch of people tuning in live, but this was all very last minute. I didn't really get the hype around it that I wanted to. But yeah, longest. I'm pretty sure it's the longest hashtag of all time. Not all these episodes are are 3 hours long. They're usually what was I gonna say? They're usually around like an hour and 15 minutes. Usually they're not 3 hours. Trust me, this is a one-time deal. We'll definitely do it again, though. I really, really enjoyed this. Thanks to Jonathan, Rusty, Emmanuel was here earlier, Sandy, and Average Grunt for all coming in. I appreciate it. Again, we'll do this again. I don't even know really what to say. But yeah, for future videos, next week will be business as usual. Record it in the morning, go up in the afternoon, usually is what happens. Deadlines are at like 9, 10 a.m. So send in your questions before Wednesday Eastern Time, 9, 10 a.m. And yeah, you can do so by tweeting me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant. Is probably the best way to find me. Hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. Drop a comment on the post I usually put up on Tuesday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last but not least, drop a comment on this video if you want to include a question for next week's episode 201. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think the video just immediately gets archived, and then I'll push it out, like I'll tweet it from there, and people can watch it and whatever. I don't know what happens. There literally might be a half hour of me just doing nothing, other than just looking at my laptop screen. The first half hour of the video, of the live stream, because I was trying to figure it out. I thought I was live. I was live. I just didn't have the right link. So, just a heads up. But I'll share that. It should be archived. If this got lost, I would probably kill myself. I'm just kidding, but I'd be really, really mad. I don't think it gets lost, though. YouTube's usually good about that I think it records, and then you can just save it from there, and I'll push it out from there. So, yeah, next week, business as usual. Again, thanks to everyone in the live chat who tuned in, even for a couple minutes. I appreciate it. Oh, that's about it. So yeah, guys, just have a great rest of your freaking week. Just enjoy the week. Just have an awesome week. Enjoy NXT tonight. Enjoy the Lucha Underground. Ultimate Lucha starts tonight. I could not be any more amped. Thanks once again to everyone who tuned in. I've said it a million times, but tuned in, sent in questions live, who plugged the show. Once again, big thanks to great talking to Tom for the first time in months, but great talking to Tom, Nick even for a few minutes, RJ, we had Jason, we had Haley even for a couple seconds. So that was great. Thanks to all those guys for taking the time out of their day to talk to moi. And as I always say, guys, and we're also quickly approaching 1,400 subscribers, which is cool. So be sure to subscribe. And, you know, all that stuff is greatly appreciated. Say go Yanks, Rusty said. Go Yanks. I don't know. If you hate the Yankees, I apologize. But, yeah, help boost our subscription numbers. We're almost at 1,400, which is insane. But maybe I'll do a live video when we're approaching like 1,500 subscribers. Until we get 1,500, I'll do a live stream. And it could take forever, but maybe we'll do that, which won't be for a while. But maybe that'll be my next live stream, if not for episode 300 or 250 or whatever. Maybe we can do this every 50 episodes. But yeah, be sure to like the video. Thanks to everyone who liked the video. Drop a comment. I don't know if you drop it on this one, it gets carried over to the archive version, so I'm not sure, so I would say wait. Yeah, just share the video and subscribe to the channel. We're quickly approaching 1,400 subscribers. So, again, guys, I'm rambling at this point. I got to get going. I got to take a freaking shower. It's 2:50 Eastern Time. I'm smelly. I'm tired. Not really. I got my sleep last night, but this really woke me up. But I got other stuff I got to do before I call it a day later on tonight. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Have a great rest of your day again. Thank you for joining me for 3 hours of just pure ridiculousness, unscripted, just nonsense. So, thanks again, guys. I'll catch you right back here next week for episode 201 of #AskGSM. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.